on that note, good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Welcome wherever you are in the world. Hope you're well. Brooks's Space Corner, live chat number 53 here in London town. Coming to the end of August, weather's turning, autumn's coming, and I'm very pleased to announce that from next Tuesday we will be reverting back to the regular Tuesday evening live chats here on Brooks's Space Corner. I apologise for the screen being how it is with the sort of widescreen columns on the left. So when I set this live chat up back in May, it was going to be a duo live thing with a special guest and what have you, or at least I wanted that flexibility. But without cancelling the whole live stream and the link and everything, you have to set up a whole new live stream, which was why we had the shenanigans at the start there. So I apologise for that, and it also means you're going to be seeing like a reduced screen, which is really annoying. I'd forgotten that it won't be in landscape, it will be in portrait. But anyway, you've got me for a couple of hours. So I hope you're safe and well. I hope you've had a good time over the summer. Tonight is the last of the monthly live chats that we've done through the summer. So as I said, from next week, from next Tuesday, we go back to regular Tuesday nights, 8 p.m. here, London town, for the regular weekly live chat. So I hope everything is good where you are. Hope the summer's been a lot of fun. And now we get back into the business of autumn and winter, and all those sort of gigs and festivals are starting to come to an end. I've got a couple more left to go as we get into September, and then it all changes back to kind of theatre gigs and private bookings and functions and that kind of thing. So yeah, so there we are. As you'll see, I'm wearing one of the new Bass Legend quote t-shirts. This is a Mr. Leland Sklar t-shirt. I'll show you the others shortly. I've got them here to my left. So if this is the first time you've been on a live chat, whether on my channel or someone else's, you're very welcome. Good to see you. If you are on the mobile app, the live chat window is directly below, which allows you to put your comments and your questions in. If you're on the desktop version, it's that way. So put your insertion point into the live chat window, type your question or comment, press send. As soon as I see it pop up here on my screen, I will deal with it. And I've just got a load of pop-ups because I've got my laptop going here, so I can see all your messages. Mum's there, Mum's listening and watching. Good evening everyone, I hope you're all good. Cheers Mum, someone's watching, that's good. And let me think, you've spoiled my flow now. Cheers Mum. So in the live chat window, put your insertion point in, type your comment like my mum has, press send, and I'll see it. As soon as I see it pop up, I'll respond to it. At the bottom of the live chat window, you'll see some icons. So there's an emoji icon, so feel free to add emojis to the chat. It does the live chat a lot of good. It makes the YouTube algorithm, it's an indication to the algorithm that you're enjoying the live chat. So feel free to add emojis as you see fit. That's all good. Next to it, you'll see a dollar symbol. That's called Super Chat. That allows you to make a financial contribution to the channel, helps you support the channel. It basically oils the mechanism that keeps the channel running, allows me to get the items in that you see reviewed and demoed and the workshop videos and all that kind of thing. So if you want to help the channel out, feel free to hit the Super Chat button. There's another facility which is directly underneath the video window, so you'll see a row of icons. You'll see a thumbs up and a thumbs down. Please give the video a thumbs up if you'd be kind enough. If you give it a thumbs down, then please leave a comment. Let me know why you're not enjoying it. You will also see a share button. There's also a shop button, so you can buy Brooks's Space Corner merchandise. There is also underneath those icons the merchandise shelf, so you can see the various items that are in my merchandise. It doesn't show you all of them. I think it shows you 12 at a time. So there are more than 12. There's actually about, I think, 13 or 14 designs for the merchandise, and they are spread across literally 150 to 160 different items. So there's clothing, there's t-shirts, hoodies, mouse mats, phone cases, iPad cases, loungewear, socks, guys' clothing, women's clothing, kids' clothing. There is baby stuff available, but I don't include that here in my merch. And then next to the shop icon, you'll see there's a save option, which allows you to save a video to a watch list, and you can come back to it at a later date. Then further along that row of options, you'll see there's a love heart with a dollar symbol in. That's called Super Thanks. Works exactly the same way as Super Chat. So if there's a video on this channel, maybe this live chat or any of the other videos that are on here, you find particularly helpful or informative or educational, if you want to help me, help the channel, reward the channel, you can hit Super Thanks, make a financial contribution at any time. It doesn't matter whether it's a small amount, a large amount, whatever works for you. If you wish to do that, feel free. So, if you aren't already subscribed to the channel, please hit the subscribe button. Please hit the notification bell. And if you do that and you want to receive notifications when I'm doing live chats, when I'm doing impromptu live chats, which can just happen, you won't know about them until I start going live. So, quite a few people here on the channel, my mum included, hit the subscription button, hit the notification bell, but she had all the notifications turned off. Chris Cuthbertson, thank you very much. He's just made a donation to the channel. A super chat, thank you. Brooksy, what's your take on Phil Jones cabs? I will come back to you, Chris. I'm just doing my preamble, and I'll come back to you very shortly. I won't forget you, I'll be back there shortly. If you hit the notification bell, you get three options. The first option is none. So basically you're subscribing to the channel, but you don't want notifications when I put up videos. That's fine. The next option is highlights. So the algorithm works out what things you like on the channel, what you don't, and it will pick out the relevant things that it thinks you will find informative. And then the third option is all. So every time I post up a new video, a community tab post, or do anything here on the YouTube channel, it will notify you. So if you want to take part in the impromptu live chats that I've been doing through the summer, and will continue, I usually do them when I'm on gigs, so I can tell you how the gig's going, where I am, what we're going to be doing, which band I'm playing with, what gear I've got with me. Hit that notification bell. And again, please give the video a thumbs up if you're enjoying it. And feel free to share any of the videos here on Brooksy's Bass Corner far and wide. If you want to share them on social media, in emails, on your website, feel free. That's what the share button is all about. So feel free to do that. Now, underneath the video window, you will find the description box, as there is for every YouTube video. In there, you will find affiliate links. You will also find merchandise links. So let me prattle on about the merchandise very quickly. So there's a UK and Europe store. There's a US and worldwide store. Basically the same items in both, but there are certain brands and certain types of t-shirts, certain types of hoodies, certain types of clothing that are in the US that aren't in the European and UK store, and vice versa. So sometimes there are options to buy certain t-shirts, styles of t-shirt that we can't get here in the UK and in Europe. It just makes for in a way it's good. It's kind of breaks up the having the same items around the whole world, but some of the US shirts are really quite good. So a new range, which I've talked about a bit on various impromptu live chats we've had, and I did mention it in the last live chat, which was at the end of July when we had Neil Fairclough with us. So this is a new range of shirts. These are Bass Legend quote t-shirts. So people are looking at them, and I've seen various comments on social media going, he can't do that, he can't be earning money. Yes, I can. Right, I'll explain it to you. We get bombarded with merchandise, t-shirt designs all the time on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, what have you. Let me explain the story behind these t-shirts. So, for those of you who follow the channel, you may well be aware that I wrote for Bass Guitar Magazine for, now, get it right, 16 years, and I wrote for Bass Player Magazine for 4. So I was with Bass Guitar Magazine from 2004 until 2020, when it was amalgamated into Bass Player, and I was writing for Bass Player from 2018 up to 2022. As of this time last year, Bass Player Magazine ceased to be a printed publication that you could hold in your hands, paper-based, and it's become an online entity. Tying in with that, me and a lot of the other writers have now left. We aren't involved in Bass Player anymore. However, all the interviews I did for Bass Guitar Magazine and Bass Player, I own the copyright for. So the magazine owns copyright because I wrote the interviews for them for publication, but the lifelong copyright on anything that came out of those interviews rests with me. So I own the copyright. However, in order to present quotations from people, doesn't matter whether it's Joe Public on the street or if it's someone famous, you have to get permission from those people. So I had an idea to do this range. So it's just t-shirts and mugs at the moment. Haven't done any hoodies or anything else. I went back to the people who said these quotes and I said, you know, I've got a YouTube channel and I'd like to do a range of merchandise, limited. It's not going to be everything that's going to have these quotes on, but I'd like to do some t-shirts and some mugs. And of the four legends that we've used so far, three of them said absolutely, definitely go for it. Obviously Chris Squire has passed away, so I did email the Chris Squire estate and his family. I heard nothing back, so if I ever get an email or a letter or whatever from the Chris Squire estate and family and they say please stop producing these, I have no problem with that. I'll do that. But for the three other legends that are in this range at the moment, we have Leland Sklar, he of the greatest beard in music, of course, Mr. Mark King, resident of the Isle of Wight, and Mr. Nathan East, Mr. Cool. So let me show you the shirts. So here we have a Nathan East shirt. This is in a charcoal grey finish, and it is, let me tell you the brand. So what we got here, this brand is called Canvas, Bella Canvas. They wash great, they fit great, and like I say, this is charcoal grey. It may look black on your screen, but it's actually charcoal grey. So that's the Lee Sklar one, which has a blue kind of background thing going on. Then we have the Mark King shirt. I'll read these quotes out to you, shall I? Just make a bit more sense. So the Lee Sklar shirt says, I still don't feel like I've got it right. He's talking about his bass playing, of course. Every day is a new adventure. That interview was April 2016. And I did that in London. I remember it very well. So that's Lee Sklar. So this is Mark King. That has a red background. Again, a Bella Canvas shirt in charcoal grey. I'll let you see the quote. So the quote refers to a bunch of shows Mark King did at Ronnie Scott's in 2012. So he received a letter. The interview happened in July 2017, but the show's dated back to 2012. And what he says in the quote was, a chap said he left the show at Ronnie Scott's because the LEDs in Mark's bass were too piercing. And he suggested I should turn them off once in a while. Cheek. From Mark's very own mouth. That's the Mark King quote. Then we've got the Chris Squire quote. So this is on a Gildan t-shirt, which are the sort of standard t-shirts on Spreadshirt and Spreadshop. So this has got like a green and purple kind of background. Navy blue shirt, of course. This is from my interview with Chris in June 2014. So he says, yes could be anything. In 100 or 200 years, there could still be a Yes band playing Yes music. The way it's kind of gone, it could be right. So that's the Chris Squire shirt. Then the last one at the moment, so we've only done 4 so far. We'll see how these go. So this is from Nathan East, who I've interviewed twice. I haven't seen him face to face since 2017, but this dates back to the first interview in 2014. And he says, so it's on a pink and blue background, this one. You have to play like it's the first and last time you will ever play it. Create a vibe, but dig down deep. Wise words, Mr. East, wise words. So that's the 4 designs that we have at the moment. So if you're interested in any of these, you can have them on different coloured shirts, different styles of shirt. On both stores, there's literally about 20 different t-shirt styles for men, 20 for women, 20 for kids-ish. Some there's more, some there's less. But feel free, go in the description box, hit the links for the merchandise, go through to the storefront. You'll see the design, pick which one you want. Then you can apply that to whichever t-shirt or mug you want. So the mugs look like this. Obviously it's different design, but you have the black mugs, you have the white mugs, it's got the full colour logo on, and then you have the white mugs with coloured handles. So they're all available. You'll see some in the merchandise shelf underneath this video, or you can click on the shop button underneath the video screen. That'll take you through as well. I will mention there is a shop merchandise promotion running from tomorrow, I think, until the end of the week, which is 20% off when you buy any 2 items in the store. So if you want to wait until then to buy some merch, feel free. But if you want to buy some today, you can do that too. So that's the new range. Then we've got all of the existing merch that we've had before. That's all there as well. So all the various logos, the exploding bases on the hoodies, the mouse mats, everything that was there before is still there. So, you know, feel free. If you want to check out some of the merch while we're here on the live chat, you can do that. The links are in the description box below. So, underneath the merch links, you'll find affiliate links for Thomann, Amazon, UK, US and European Amazons, Gear for Music and Andertons. Now the way that works, if you want to help the channel, if you've got any bass related purchases that you're thinking of buying, whether it's a bass, strings, cleaning materials, gig bags, accessories, effect pedals, amps, speakers, or it might even be a bass. If you're thinking of anything bass related that you're thinking of buying soon, you can help the channel out. So you are literally just helping the channel out by purchasing through those affiliate links in the description box. The channel will receive a very small affiliate commission. I will emphasize these commissions are really small, but in the bigger scheme of things, if lots of you fabulous people in YouTube land buy items using the affiliate links, it helps keep the channel going. That's the way it works. So say you want to buy a new set of strings, go to the affiliate links, click on whichever retailer you like to use, or even go through each one and compare the prices. Add the item to your basket, go through with the transaction. Once the item is sent to you, Brooks's Bass Corner receives an affiliate commission from the retailer. It's as simple as that. So you're buying in exactly the same way. You're just clicking through on the affiliate link that's in the description box. That's how it works. So then underneath the affiliate links, you'll find social media links. So we're on Facebook, Twitter, X, Instagram, Threads, Discord, Be Real, Reddit, Quora. There might be another one. I can't remember. I'm losing track of them. There's so many these days. I think that might be it. So there we go. So that's the preamble. And don't forget, at the bottom of the live chat window, you've got the emoji icon, so feel free to give that an absolute battering. And also you've got the super chat donation button. So if you want to help the channel, you can donate via super chat or even the super thanks button that's below the video. That's the preamble done. Right, let's get into the live chat, see who we've got on here this evening. And I will come back to you, Chris Cuthbertson, very quickly. Right, so I mentioned my mum, Stacey from North Carolina, good to see you. This may be my connection, but the sound is going in and out. I will exit and return. Okay. Has that got any better? Let me know. So, Chris Cuthbertson, what's my take on Phil Jones cabs? Looking for something small but loud. I like Phil Jones gear. I've done a number of reviews over the years. Always found it really good. Very high quality. Pretty good value for money. What you're paying for is the quality of craftsmanship, the manufacture, the small size, the portability, but really good performance. So if you've got your mind set on some Phil Jones gear, Chris, then go for it. Just find which items you want. I haven't actually reviewed any since 2020 when we were in lockdown. So I know Phil comes out with new stuff all the time. So I'm a little behind the times on that. But certainly any stuff that I've ever reviewed of from Phil Jones has been seriously good. So by all means have a look at that. You might want to maybe take a look at the Trace Elliott Elf stuff, maybe. There is a video. I did a review of the 1x10 combo back in, again, 2020, around about December time, so it's nearly 3 years ago. It was an amazingly loud combo. The good thing is you can attach an extension speaker to it, but if you wanted to go down the route of just using a Trace Elliott Elf amp, which I have in my gig bag, is it that one? This one? It is this one. I bought one when they came out because I reviewed one and I was blown away with how good it was for the size, but I use it primarily as a backup. It's not that bag, is it? It's the other bag, which is out there. I'm sorry. It's in another bag that's outside here. I bought one of those amps and I was running it on very loud pub gigs and corporate events with a 2x12 Neo cab. It would be my EBS one, which is in the garage. It was exceptionally loud. So the amp is so small it fits in your back pocket. So if you want just an amplifier solution, Chris, if you like the Trace Elliott Elf tone, please don't fall into the trap that lots of Trace Elliott fans do, which is they seem to think the Elf can be what the old Trace Elliott gear was. It can't. It's not that big. The technology is different. And it's built by Peavey. It's not built by Trace Elliott. Trace Elliott is a brand. It's not a company. So check it out. You might like it. You might not. I've used my Elf quite recently. A couple of months ago, I was doing a gig at Box Park in Wembley. I had to travel on the tube, and the Elf was the perfect solution for that. If you want to check it out, the video, I can do it. Bear with me 2 seconds. I can put a link in for you, Chris. Make it easy for you to find that video. Just bear me a second, guys and girls. I'll put that up for you. Here you go, Chris. Check this out. There we go. So that will show you. You won't be able to hear the amp because I have to mute the performance so I don't get hit with a copyright claim. But it will show you how big the amp is, and you'll see what I was able to use on that gig. So check that out. You're going to be. Right, hold on. I can see you've replied. So let me just come back up the live chat feed here, and I'll come back to you in a second, Chris. Vissel, good to see you, my friend. Hope you're well. Evening. Ooh, 2 lovely Mark King axes behind you. You noticed. Michael, sound is so up and down. I don't know what I can do. I don't know. I'd have to end this live stream and come back out. It could be a Wi-Fi thing. We've had some issues locally with our Wi-Fi performance, so I will bear with it for the moment. Let's see how we go. Okay, Steffi, hello everyone, just come home from hospital. Oh, commiserations, hope you're okay. Glad I can join right in time. Good to see you, thanks for joining in. Vissel, could be me, but voice is a bit quiet tonight. Okay, I'm wondering if it might be because the way that the camera is positioned. Let me just raise it up a little. Might be the microphone's not getting enough. See if that's any better. See if that improves things. Sound is up and down for you too, Chris. Okay. Visog think bass direct stock Phil Jones gear. Yes, they do. We'll be looking at getting 2 small cabs to create a modular system. Cool. Well, I can influence you, but anyway, let me show you. This is my amp of choice, Chris. You might want something smaller than this, or this might be exactly what you want. But this is my main amplifier on gigs. So I use an Aguilar AG700. The only problem with this is you can't use 2 4-ohm cabs. You can use 2 8-ohm cabs, or you can use 1 4 and 1 8, which doesn't make things very easy. But that's what I use. But the Trace Elliott is probably less than half that size. So I don't know how small you want to go, Chris. Don't know. I'm wondering if the volume thing might be because the camera's a little further away. So just bear with me. I'll move the camera a little nearer. I apologise for the vibration you're going to get. Let's see if that's any better. Is that any better? I'll wait for you guys to give me a yes or a no. Stacey thought it was my connection, but the sound is moving in and out. Okay. Don't know what I can do with it without cancelling the live chat. Chris, we'll be using a TC 500 watt head. Okay, so you've got the head. So basically, you're looking at cabs. Well, smallest cabs you're going to get are 110s. Depends on what gigs you're doing. So if you're going to be having PA support and you're not reliant on the cabs to produce all of your output that the audience are going to hear, then you can pretty much use whatever you like. But if you're going to be doing gigs where what you've got gear wise is what's pumping out to the rest of the audience, 110s will get you so far, and some gigs they'll be perfectly okay, but in a big room, you've got live drums, live guitars, you're going to be looking at 112s minimum. So I have a couple of cabs that are 212s. I've got an Aguilar SL212 here. I actually sometimes use 2 of those. Sometimes I might use a 212 and a 210 stacked on top. It's horses for courses, depends on the gigs you're doing, and the size of the venues, pretty much. Steffi, hi. Yes, I'm okay. Thank you. My aunt is in hospital. She has lung cancer and is in her final stage. So I'm taking care of her every day. We've just been through exactly the same. My father-in-law passed away last Wednesday from lung cancer. We've got his funeral 2 weeks tomorrow. So I know exactly what you're going through. So you have my sympathies and best wishes. Stacey, I'm so very sorry to hear that, Steffi. Condolences. Yeah. So that's just up to date with the live chat. So what's been going on here on the channel? Well, over the 3 live chats that we've done through the summer, I was hoping to have loads and loads of new content put up. So I filmed a load, I've edited a load, but because of family situation, father-in-law being very ill with cancer, managing everything, walking dogs, helping relatives out, doing gigs, it's been a bit difficult. So you're going to see loads of new content coming up now over the next sort of 2 to 3 months. There's lots of stuff to come, I can promise you that. I know, because I've been recording it and editing it. There's new videos in the bass string experiment series. On the channel, it's still at number 14. In real life, it's up to 61. Going to be doing 2 shows this weekend, which will be 62 and 63, with the same strings on. These could be the last gigs. I said that on gig 60, half ago. And then I thought, you know what, I can get another gig out of them, which I did at the weekend. I think I might still be able to get another couple. So I'm going to use that bass and those strings again this weekend. So we'll see how we go. But they're definitely coming to the end of the road. Let's see here. Okay, Chris was looking at two 4x5 Phil Jones cabs going from a 410. Small car requires small cabs, absolutely. Yeah, two 4x5s, that'll do you. But bear in mind, you can, with all this technology, and I've been through this discussion many times, doesn't matter how good the technology is, you can't get away from physics. Okay, physics dictates everything. So to get rounded, smooth bottom end, all the manufacturers will tell you we've come up with a solution and we've got speakers that do this, that, and the other, and what have you. Bass frequencies need power, and bass frequencies need air and room. Okay, guitar frequencies, high pitch frequencies, don't. It's just nature of physics. They need something else. But bass frequencies, in order to have oomph and power and tonal integrity, you need power and you need the size of the box. So where as a bass playing community, a lot of us are downsized and got smaller cabs and 112s and 110s and 1.8s, and that's fine, but you're going to lose the solidity of the bottom end. That you can't get away from it. So if you're going to go for the 4x5s, have a look at the size of the cabinet and certainly demo it as well. Don't go and buy this stuff and don't try it before you buy it, because there's no guarantee. This is the problem with amplification. Once you buy it, unless something goes wrong with it, you can't take it back and get your money back, unless you know a very friendly retailer who allows you to do that. I don't know a company that's ever done that. So with backline gear, you've got to try it and test it before you pay up. So I would check it. Take your bass along to a store that's got any, and test with your ears. That's all you can do. Play stood in front of it. So don't just always sit in front of it and play and think, oh, that sounds great. Stand how you would, position it how you would on a gig. So if you're going to be standing in front of it, how does it sound to you? Is it dimensions wise going to have a problem if you stand in front of it? Because are you going to basically baffle those frequencies if you're stood right in front of it? And see how it feels when you're playing. Start toning it up a bit, and is there solidity of tone? Is the tone good? The 4x5s are going to give you a natural brightness straight off the bat. The mids will be very tight and very focused, but it's the bottom end that you need to be thinking about. It's very good having lots of bright top end, but if that bottom end isn't carrying, it's just going to sound very brittle in a live situation. But that would be my suggestion. But two 4x5 cabinets instead of a 410, that should be good. Should be good, I think. But I mean, Phil Jones's stuff, he works very hard to get good bass performance out of his cabinet, so he should be fine. Chris, I do miss my 115 and a 410 stack. Well, that's the classic setup, isn't it? I've never been a fan of 115s, I'll be honest, but I'm very much a fan of 410s. But I actually moved over to using 212s back in 2009. I was doing lots of gigs in a regular bar, and we were guaranteed work for about a year. So I stopped using heavy cabs, which would be these EBS Proline cabs that I have either side here, and I started buying the Neo stuff. So first port of call was a Neo 212 by EBS, and then I added on an EBS 210 Neo, which was great. That's a great rig. But I found the 12s gave me a nice roundness to my bass tone that had maybe been lacking in the 410. 410s are great. It's a powerhouse cab. But I heard someone playing through a cab with some 12-inch drivers, and I thought that might be the missing link. And to my mind it was. So I've pretty much been using 212s for the past 14 years. And occasionally I might add a 212 on, 210 on top to give a little extra projection and clarity. But I always prefer a 212 cabinet as my sort of, that's my base, if you like. So yeah, welcome. I don't recognise that name, so you've been on here before. You're welcome. Brooks's Base Corner live chat number 53, coming to you all the way from London town. Chris Cuthbertson, never played 12s, going to have to try them. Try them. Take a 212 and take a 210, if you can go to a store that's got them, and compare and contrast. Put the same, well, set them up. If they've got enough equipment that you can have an amp on each, the same amp, you can just go between them, either with an A-B switch or just taking your bass out and putting it in the other one. You'll hear the difference. So the 212s have a slightly rounder delivery, but if they've both got tweeters in, which most cabs have these days, you're still getting the clarity that you would have had from the 410, but you've got the added sort of bass push. And 212s don't lack punch. Don't worry about that. You aren't losing the 410 punch. 12s are fine for that. They really are. And punch in my bass tone is something I always want. So I wouldn't have been using 212s for 14 years if I didn't think they were going to deliver that. But give them a go. Use your ears. Only you will know. And then if you're happy with that tone, get out there, do the gigs. And you'll soon know. You'll soon know what's working and what isn't. But obviously, 212s are going to be bigger cabinets. So check out an Aguilar SL210. They're higher but less wide. The EBS ones are wider and less high. Different manufacturers, different cabinet dimensions. Thank you very much for your super chat donation, by the way. Very much appreciated. Thanks for the advice. That's what I'm here for. So for anyone else, got any trouble with your bass, your amp, your cabs, pedals, accessories, gear, anything going wrong, let me know. If I can help, more than willing to do so. I've been playing for 36 years. Professional for 28. I've got miles on the clock. I've done over 4,000 gigs. I wrote for magazines for the best part of 18 years. If I can help, that's what I'm here for. If I don't know the answer or the solution, one of the fine learned people that we have here on Brooks's Base Corner may well know the answer. We've helped many people over the months. And yeah, so any questions you got, Chris, ask away. If you need an answer and we're not on a live chat, you can always send me a message via the social media. You can send it via the community tab here on YouTube, or I can give you the email address for Brooks's Base Corner. It's all good. I think we're up to date on the messages. I do believe. Check I haven't missed anything there. No, got it all. I think we got it. Very good. I'm just going to grab a quick drink. Brooks's Base Corner mug, of no less. So this mug, the first logo that we did, which is based on my GB Rumour, Kingfisher Blue one. It's made up of multiple bases within the main outline. This mug has been here at Brooks Towers since late February. It's been in and out of the dishwasher more times I can possibly remember, but the print hasn't faded. So these mugs, if you buy any of the mugs on the merchandise stores, they hold up very well and they don't fade. So that's the white one. I'll show you the black one, or one of the black ones. So literally all the designs that we have here on Brooks's Base Corner can be applied to any of the mugs. So if you're a bit of a mug fan, there's the other one, Exploding Bass. It's been in and out of the dishwasher as well since about April, and it hasn't faded. So it's good gear. And the t-shirts, the clothing, the hoodies, they're all good as well. One of our friends, Graham Potts, no doubt will be along later. He informed me on a live chat a few weeks ago, an impromptu live chat on a gig, that He bought a hoodie. I knew he bought a hoodie with that exploding bass design logo, and he wore it to a gig, function, and someone stole his hoodie. So clearly, Brooks's Bass Corner merch is in demand. Sorry, Graham. I don't mean to laugh. Steffi, love the mugs, black or white, both look great. As I say, if you go into the merch stores, the links are in the description box. The first thing you do is pick a design, so whatever design you want. You can then go into accessories, look for mugs, there's glasses, there's water bottles, there's all sorts. You then apply the design to the item you want, you then add it to your basket, off you go, you can buy it. That's how it works. But the first thing you've always got to do is decide which design you want first. Then you apply it to the item that you're going to buy. But the quality of the gear is fabulous. And I can't knock the t-shirts. I mean, I've got a fairly substantial Brooks's Bass Corner wardrobe now with various designs. So these are the new Legend Quote t-shirts. So if you're a level 42 fan, obviously you'll be wanting the Mark King quote, of course. So we'll see how these all go, and see if you guys like that kind of thing. I've got a Lee Sklar one on. He of the greatest beard in popular music. Bless him. Lee, if you're watching, he joined in on one of the live chats, 2 live chats ago, from a studio, I think it was in Nashville, but I could be wrong. But anyway, he joined in very briefly on one of our live chats, so wonderful man. So there we go. So I think I'm up to date on all the live chat messages. Let's have your questions. Let's have your comments. Anything you'd like to see on the channel. Any questions regarding videos that are already here on the channel. Anything you'd like to ask me about the magazine stuff. Advice. So if something's not working, any of your gear's not working. Or perhaps you're looking for some ideas on some new gear. Maybe you've got some money burning a hole in your pocket. And you're thinking either a new bass, new amp, maybe a combo, pedals, accessories, gig bags. Ask away. If I can help, more than happy to do so. When I wrote for the magazines, I did over 500 gear reviews. So I've had a lot of basses, a lot of amps, a lot of cabinets, a lot of pedals through this door in this room, as well as doing all the review days that we used to do at various retailers here in the UK. So if I can help, let me know. Let me know what questions you've got. I'm expecting a few more of the regulars to. They'll probably be popping here probably around about 9 o'clock, so in about 15 minutes. So we'll see who appears. Unless they're abroad and they haven't got back to the UK because air traffic control has had an absolute meltdown the past 2 days. About something like 750 flights didn't make it in or out yesterday, and similarly today. So maybe a lot of the regulars are caught overseas and not able to get back. Maybe you're watching this from wherever you went on holiday. If you're there, I'm so sorry. Nothing I can do. It certainly wasn't my fault, but I feel for you. I was watching a little bit of it on the news before we came onto the live chat this evening. Chris Cuthbertson, what's your take on bass players learning keyboard? Go for it. Absolutely. The more feathers in your cap, the busier a bass player you're going to be. I've never had to do it. If I had to, I would. But I've never been in a band where I've had to do that. And I do have a veritable selection of octave pedals, filter pedals, bass synth pedals. So usually I can get sort of a very close approximation for anything that any band I play with wants. But I've never been told we need you to play synth bass. I know a lot of guys do it now. A lot of the festival bands, festival artists, their bass players playing bass on half of it and keys on the other. Do it. It's no bad thing. But what I would say is your priority being able to do backing vocals, harmonies, and if you can sing lead at all, do that. It'll make you a million times more hireable. Loads of bass players just don't get how important doing backing vocals, being able to do harmonies, and if you can sing lead, oh my God, the amount of work you're going to get. There are very few singing bass players on the London covers scene. If I could do lead, I'd clear up. I really would. I'd clear up, but I can't do lead. I'm great with BVs. I can do a couple of songs lead vocals, but I'm not a lead vocal singer. I don't have great mid-range. I'm good low and I'm good high. I'm not good in the mid-range, which is what you need, basically. But I can do good harmonies and good BVs, so that's kind of the feather in my cap, you know. That's kind of my thing. Chris, I've used pedals for ages, okay, but I think I should bite the bullet and learn. I don't know where you are, Chris. Are you in the UK or are you abroad? I don't know where you are. I don't know where you're based. Like I say, I'm 51 and I've never had to do it. I suspect because of my age, I'm not going to be working with that many younger artists that want it. Okay, you're in Newcastle. Mate, if you've got time and the inclination to do it, do it. If it doesn't happen, no one ever asked you to do it, well, you had it there. It's like being able to slap. If lots of bass players can't do that, but if you can, and you suddenly have to do some, you've got it. There's never any harm in being able to do other things other than play bass. It's all going to help. It will all help. If you got the time, you're willing to buy a keyboard and do it, do it. Stacey, Sky News reported that some night flights are being allowed to ease disruption. Yeah, sounds about right. Hope they aren't hoping to use the tube to get back into London for those flights coming into London. The taxi drivers will make an absolute killing. Yeah. So there we go. There we go. But yeah, keyboard playing bass players, no bad thing. A very good thing. Are you in a project at the moment, Chris, that needs you to do it? Or is it just you're seeing other players do it and you think you might need to add it into your repertoire? I'll wait and see the update on the screen. Okay, I'll wait for you to update that. I'll see it as it comes in. So what have we been up to? It's been a very busy summer. It started slowly, actually. My main thing, Uncle Funk's Disco Inferno, 9-piece disco show band. We didn't really kick off until first week in June, which was quite late. Normally we start gigging in sort of late April, May. We've done a few gigs in March and February, but the festival season for us didn't really kick off till start of June. And it sort of started and we were busy and then it went quiet and then it started up again. But when Uncle Funk was quiet, I was doing gigs with Queen tributes, ABBA tributes, a couple of wedding bands. So it's been fairly consistent. There was just one Saturday, I think, through the summer where I didn't have a gig, and that was because we were coming back on a flight that meant I couldn't get to a function gig in time. I actually didn't get home until about 7:30, 8 o'clock, which impossible to get to a function by that time. But that's just the way it was. But it's been busy, been very busy, and I haven't finished yet. Still got a lot of gigs in September, quite a few gigs through October. November's a bit quiet, and then December goes ballistic as usual. Chris, I've used a lot of synth pedal stuff in the past in projects. It just never sounds as good as the real thing. No, it doesn't. However, it depends what the project is and what the band is, where you're playing. And there's quite a lot of stuff I do in Disco Inferno where I use a bass synth or filters and some fuzz stuff. So generally I can make that stuff work, but it just depends what project you're playing in. Is this covers? Is it originals? But I know what you're saying. A lot of bass synth pedals just don't do what a keyboard based bass synth can do. Mum, low and high singing is like your channel tonight, coming and going constantly, ebbing and flowing. I don't know what's causing it. Sometimes you get, it's like when you get a bad line on a phone call. But if I stop the live chat and come back, you're all going to have to find it on YouTube. So we'll just go with it for now. I'll put an apology up in the description box later on. Sorry. It's probably the technology and I can't do anything about it, especially if it's on our phone exchange where the broadband's connected. I did love the synth sounds in my old Boss ME8B. Yes, they're quite revered, those. They are, very much so. I presume you don't still use that. Have you still got it? Might be worth bringing it out just to cover what you need. Just you dedicate it to that. Perhaps. But if the band you're working with or the project you're working with kind of requires you to use a bass synth via a keyboard, then, you know, get cracking. It was previously owned by Mr. Zender. Okay, but it was stolen from our rehearsal room. Oh, okay. You can get them fairly easily on eBay, obviously, if it's your thing. But if you're sort of fixed on going down that keyboard route, then good luck. Best of luck with that. But it's no, you know, having those skills under your hat, it's never a bad thing. You're using an HX effects now, okay. Kev Smith, good to see you. Hi Mike, what do you think about the ULEZ charge? It's going to affect semi-pro bands. It is. I had this conversation with a Freddie Mercury guy in one of the tributes I play with, and we were discussing what was going on. I actually addressed all this years ago. So in 2017, February 2017, the whole ULEZ thing was first announced, and I remember the headline on the BBC News app. I was heading into town, and at the time I had a diesel VW Passat, and basically it said diesel cars are going to be outlawed in London. It was like, at the time I still had loads of gigs in London. These days I don't. I wasn't to know that I'd have no gigs in London by this point, but anyway. And I remember that seriously put the wind up me. I was like, diesels just aren't for the long term, are they? And it already sort of put in my head, think about changing your car soon. So when we got into 2018, it was all being ratcheted up. You know, ULEZ is coming in 2019, it's going to definitely happen. And again, at the time I was still doing lots of gigs in London. So in 2018 I got rid of my Passat and bought a petrol Toyota Avensis Estate, which I've still got, which was ULEZ compliant. So that was fine. So I addressed it very early on. Now, I don't happily accept that previous governments told us to buy diesel cars because they were better, to then find out not that long later that they weren't. That annoys the hell out of me. However, these things, doesn't matter how much people put up a fuss and a stink about it, you're not going to change it. It isn't going to be changed. So you kind of just got to roll with it. And okay, people can't afford cars, new cars, and they can't get rid of the road cars, and musicians are going to be very badly hit and everything. It's been on the horizon since 2017. You know, a little bit of financial planning in the long term would have got you to the point now where you probably could afford to do it. I don't like getting political, and I don't want to, you know, say I'm right. I'm certainly not. But my view on it was, I saw this coming well in advance, and I just planned ahead and ditched the old car in 2018. So, you know, and I get the whole thing, and it sounds like Sadiq Khan and his scientists and all that may be wrong on the whole thing, and I don't agree with the fact that you're absolutely pummeling people in their cars and businesses with vans, but you still got lorries and buses and all of that still with diesel going through town. That has to stop, but I don't see them being so penalised. But what's the solution? I don't know. And the whole we're moving to electric cars. Well, the UK has no infrastructure to support the whole country going electric. It just doesn't. It doesn't. And I don't know what the solution is, Kev. I just don't know. I don't know. There's a lot of things in life I just don't know the answers to at the moment. And you look at the way the world's going. You look at all sorts of things, and it's just like it's baffling. It truly is. It's baffling. But the whole ULEZ charge thing. I live just out of London, so it doesn't necessarily affect me. It affects some people in our village and what have you, but it doesn't affect me where I am. But like I say, my car's compliant, my partner's car's compliant, so it doesn't affect us. And I wouldn't, I'm not saying this. Oh, I had the money to go and buy a new car. I didn't. I did it on 3 credit cards and borrowed some money from my mum and paid it back over about 18 months. So it was, but my VW was great, a fabulous car. But I discovered in 2017, probably a lot of you on here who live in the UK, and actually around the world, you won't know this information. But VW Passats, certain Audis, some Fords, a few other makes and models have a dreadful rear axle design that basically wears tyres out from the inside out really quick. So I had a situation in 2017. I was doing a bunch of gigs. I put 4 new tyres on the car, probably in the February. So in the July. It was July. It was definitely July. I'd done a bunch of gigs. Hadn't used the car overly so, but I'd done a fair few miles with gear in the car and what have you. And I was driving to a gig not that far from home. I was going to St Albans around the M25, and it felt like the car was shimmying at the back like that. And I was like, what the hell's going on? I pumped the tyres up only the other day. Got to my gig, unloaded, came out, looked at my car, and the 2 rear tyres were flat. And I was thinking, okay, occasionally you might get one tyre goes soft. Maybe you haven't kept up to date with pumping it up, but I'm fairly good with my tyres. Keep an eye on them. The tyres are flat. Someone gone up to him with a screwdriver or a knife, popped my tyres. So I normally kept an air compressor in my car. On that day I didn't have it in the car. One of the other guys in the band had one. I said, can you just borrow that? Pumped the tyres up. Drove around the corner, went into a car park, parked up, 2 rear tyres are flat again. I'm like, don't know what's going on here. These are relatively new tyres. Did my gig. I was meant to go to a second gig after that. There was no way I was getting to that gig. Borrowed the guy's air compressor again. Started to drive home a little gingerly on the M25. Stayed on the inside lane in case I had a blowout. And about a mile and a half from home, one of my tyres popped. Had a blowout. Thankfully I wasn't going particularly fast, and it was fine. But it was annoying that those tyres really hadn't been on there very long. And I started to search online. It turned out that VW Passats and certain Audis, A4s generally, some Ford Mondeos, some VW Golfs have a rear axle design that basically the way it's set up is the back wheels. If you've got 2 wheels, that's outside, that's inside. The inside half of the tyre will wear out twice as quick as the outside. So if you walk around a car and you look, and you can see the outer part, you'll see the treads all perfectly fine. If you then get in the middle and look underneath your car, on the backs, the fronts are fine, but the backs, you'll find the insides go really quick. So those 2 tyres, when I had the blowout, both of them on the inside had gone down to the metal bands, but the outer sections of the tyre still had full tread. So I found that out. So I was very happy to get rid of that car because it was costing me a fortune in tyres, and it kept happening, and I could never understand it. I was like, what's going on? I thought, oh, maybe it's the amount of weight in the back of the car. It wasn't. It was the rear axle design. There was loads of it online on various VW forums about it. So sorry, I've gone off at a tangent there, Kev. But yeah, so that kind of led me to getting rid of that car sort of quite quick. Stacey Ann, absolutely don't do Ford products, Minis and some Toyota models all the way. But that's my thinking, and I love my Passat, but I wouldn't have another one now. And the car companies won't own up to these design issues, because if they did, it would cost them probably billions, and they'd have to recall all the vehicles. They aren't going to do it, are they? So that was it. I just voted with my feet, got rid of the Passat, bought the Toyota that I've got. It just doesn't. That car had new tyres on at the end of 2019. Okay, we had COVID and lockdowns and what have you. I only replaced 2 of the 4 tyres at the start of this year. So that's 1, 2, over 3 years on the fronts, and the backs are still going, which is much more the ticket. Pleases me no end, so that's all good. So there we are. So where are we? It's just gone 9 o'clock here in London town. You're very welcome. Live chat number 53 here on Brooks's Base Corner. Today is the last of the 1 live chat per month through the summer months. From next Tuesday, 8 o'clock every Tuesday, September the 5th, right up to December the 19th, the last Tuesday before Christmas. I've got live chats all booked in. They're already set up here on the channel, so if you want to attend any of them, feel free to go on there, click on the link, click on the thumbnail, whichever you wish. You can go through. You can already like the video if you wish to do so, and you'll see the notification button. So there's a grey button that says notify me. If you click on that, YouTube will notify you about 20 minutes before the live chat for each one. So if you want to do that, you could set that up in advance. So if you're new to live chats, you're very welcome to this one. If you've never done one before, I'll explain it to you. So this is the video window. Directly below on the mobile app is the live chat window. If you're on the desktop version, it's that way. Put your cursor, insertion point, whatever you want to call it, into the live chat window. You can type your message or question, press send. It'll come through to me here, and I'll see it on my laptop here. At the bottom of the live chat window, you'll see an emoji icon. So feel free to add emojis as you wish. It's a great indicator for the YouTube algorithm that you're enjoying the video. Literally feel free to just give that a pummeling. Next to that, you'll see a dollar symbol. That's called Super Chat. That allows you to make a financial donation to the channel. Helps keep the channel going. Allows me to buy the products that you see on the reviews, the demos, the workshop materials, things like this. This rather splendid System 65 set from Dunlop. All of this stuff gets used in the workshop videos. So if you help the channel with the Super Chat donation, that sort of stuff is what we end up buying. The lights, the cables, the stands, the microphones, tuners, merch samples, all of that stuff is funded by the Super Chat and Super Thanks payments that you guys donate. So thank you very much to everyone that does that. Before I go any further, welcome to all the new subscribers. There's been a right flurry over the past 2 or 3 weeks. Suddenly seen subscriber numbers really jump up. So if you're new to the channel, good to see you. Thank you for joining in. So we've done the Super Chat. Super Thanks works in exactly the same way as Super Chat. You'll find it on the row of icons below the video window. So you'll see a thumbs up and a thumbs down. So if you enjoyed the video, enjoying the live chat, please give it a thumbs up. If you're going to give it a thumbs down, you're not enjoying it, then please leave a comment. Let me know why it's not working for you. Okay. Next to it, you'll see a share icon, so you can share the video out to social media, email, websites. There's a shop icon, which allow you to go through to YouTube's version of my merchandise store. If you go into the description box, you'll find the links directly through to the merchandise. So using YouTube's version, I have to split the commission with them. If you go through to the website via the links in the description box, I get all the commission. That's how that works. You'll see a save icon, so you can add this video to a watch later list. You'll also find a love heart with a dollar symbol in. That super thanks works exactly the same as super chat in the live chat window. Basically allows you to make a small or large donation to the channel as you see fit. Those donations help to lubricate the wheels, keep the channel going. Hopefully we'll keep this channel going for years and years and years. That's the aim anyway. So if you're new to the channel and you haven't hit the subscribe button already, please feel free to do so. If you're already a subscriber, well, thank you for hitting the subscribe button previously. Nice one. Next to that, you'll see a notification bell. So if you want notifications when I post up new videos, or I post on the community tab, or we do impromptu live chats, hit that bell, and there are 3 settings. So the bottom one is none, so you receive no notifications. The middle setting is highlights. So the YouTube algorithm will pick out the videos it thinks you want to see when I post them up. And then the third option is all, so you get notified whenever I do anything here on the channel. So if you want to be part of impromptu chats when I'm on gigs, when I'm buying gear, when I'm out at music stores, you need to have all selected from the notification bell. Again, if you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up, and also feel free to share any of the videos and any of the content here on the channel out to social media. If you're part of a bass group or a bass forum and you want to reference anything that's here on the channel, feel free. Find the video, hit share, send it out to whichever platform you're on. That's fine. The description box is below the video window, and that's the same for every video here on YouTube. And in there you'll find links to merchandise. So we have a European and UK store and a US and worldwide store. There's a 20% off discount from tomorrow if you buy 2 items. So if you buy a sticker and a mug, you're going to get 20% off of that. If you buy 2 t-shirts, you get 20% off of that. That's how it works. So that runs from tomorrow. You'll find the merchandise links in the description box. Again, I don't get the full cost of the products you buy. I get a small percentage. It is small. But all those small percentages come into the channel and help to make a bigger percentage. Again, helps to keep the channel going. Underneath the merch links, you'll find affiliate links for Thomann, Amazon, across the world, various locations for Amazon. So we've got UK, we've got various European ones, US and worldwide. Then there's gear for music and Andertons. So if you've got any bass related purchases, might be a bass, might be an amp, combo, pedals, accessories, strings, gig bags, cleaning materials, tuners, maybe looking for a new clip-on tuner. If you go through any of the affiliate links in the description box, find the product you're after, add it to your basket, go through the transaction, the channel will receive an affiliate commission. Again, it's very small, but all those small commissions become bigger. So if you want to help the channel, you can do it that way. Friends here on the channel have bought amps, amp covers, new pedals, audio interfaces, stands, lights, all sorts, and help the channel out. So thank you if you've done that, especially if you've done it over the summer months and you haven't been on one of the live chats. Thank you. Very much appreciated. And that's the big plug. Then we've got the social media links, of course. So we're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, now called X, Be Real, Discord, Quora, Reddit, and TikTok. You can find me and the channel on all of those platforms. So have you got any questions regarding basses, amps, pedals, effects, strings, accessories, how to set a bass up, how to put a pedal board together? Maybe you're looking for, I don't know, anything regarding bass guitars. Maybe your practice regime needs a bit of a change. If I can help, more than happy to do so. If I don't know the answer to something, I leave it open to the floor. And some of the fine, learned people that we have here on Brooks's Bass Corner live chats may well know the answer. So feel free. Maybe your bass has come off worse after a gig during the summer. Maybe one of your controls has popped off, or maybe your bridge has semi-exploded. Who knows? If we can help, more than happy to do so. So the live chat's gone a little quiet. Just check I've been getting all the messages. I think I have. Yep, we're up to date, gang. We are up to date. So yeah, so what's coming up? So this week got 2 Uncle Funk shows. We've got a private event on Friday, and then we are playing an event. I think it's Wellingborough. 2 seconds, I will tell you exactly where I'm playing. And actually, for some of you, you might want to pop along to one of the shows. So let me read out where we're going to be over the next couple of weeks. So this Friday we're playing, private event on Friday. Then on Saturday we're playing what is called the VW Action Festival, which I think is at Santa Pod Raceway in Wellingborough, Northamptonshire. So we're there on Saturday. I guess we're closing the show. We are playing from 9:30 till 10:30. And then let's see, where are we the week after? Then next week, got an Uncle Funk wedding on the 7th. Then I'm doing a Queen tribute, again a private event, on Friday the 8th in Portsmouth. Then got another Uncle Funk wedding on the 9th. Where's that? Bishop Stortford. And the week after that, I've got an ABBA tribute show at the Grosvenor Hotel in Park Lane here in London. Then Uncle Funk are at Strode Park in Herne Bay in Kent, which is a public show on Saturday the 16th. Then the following Saturday we're at Saltasia Festival in Maidstone in Kent. Then on the 29th of September we're at South Mill Arts Centre. It's Uncle Funk again. That's in Bishop Stortford, that's a public gig. And then I've got a Queen tribute in Milton Keynes, which is a public gig on Saturday the 30th. So that's kind of my gigs over the next month, and hopefully going to get loads of new content up here on the channel now that the summer chaos has kind of passed. So it's all good. So there'll be loads of new bass reviews, bass demos, pedal reviews and demos, some old archive interviews going up as well, and then some feature videos, which is something I want to do more of. So I guess the biggest feature video here on the channel is the one that went through my bass collection at the start of the year. So if you haven't seen that, I'll add a link. Hold on. I'll put that in here for anyone that's interested, if you want to look at 33 of my basses. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Building a bass collection in 2023. So if you want to check that out, feel free. Don't have to. That was the collection then, not now. There've been further additions since then. One of which is here, right next to me. This is the Harley Benton Marquis bass. Some of you will have seen from the impromptu live chats through July. So this was part of a sale deal they were doing at Thomann, which is possibly the greatest value for money bass I've ever played in my life. Both the 4-string and the 5-string. The 5-string is now discontinued. The 4 is still available via Thomann, and this was part of a deal they were doing to celebrate 25 years of Thomann and Harley Benton working together. There were a couple of other basses, but this was the pick of the bunch. I know because I reviewed a 4 and a 5-string for Bass Player, which were actually my last written and submitted reviews for the magazine before it went into being an online entity. But the reviews never got printed. They would have been in the next issue. it stopped. So Harley Benton and Thomann never got to read how good I thought these were. Anyway, during that sale, this was only £128, which I thought was a bargain. Because even at the review price, which was 272 or something, it was a bargain. So at 128, it was very much a bargain. So I bought one. And here it is. I've been using it for practicing at home to kill these strings off, which I detest. I don't know what they are. They're not very nice. They're fairly horrible. But the bass needs to go on the workbench, and for learning stuff at home, preparing for gigs, I'll just kill the strings, and then when they're absolutely dead, they'll come off, and I'll give the bass a good setup on the workbench. And there will be a video for that. You will see it happening. But the bass is, I was hoping I was going to get one that was a little more striking in the front facing. It's okay. It's pretty good. It's not great. It's not as good as some of the promotional pictures, put it that way. But the bass plays good. Sadly, the pickups and bridge have a bit of an alignment issue going on. I don't know if it is the pickups or the bridge or both. And some of the cutting, the routing around the pickups is fairly scrappy, put it that way. But anyway, the bass plays great, and I thought £128 is a bargain. It may end up being a competition prize at some point, we will see. So yeah, it's not. This example is not as good as the one that I had for review, but I suspect Thomann and Harley Benton fettled the review model quite considerably, because I don't remember the review one having huge gaps around the pickups, and I don't remember the where the string passes over the pickups being so out of alignment. But there we go. This is what it is. And at £128, what are you complaining for? It's all good. Please good. Please good. There's no choking, no real dead notes. There was a bit of buzz when it first came. I think the truss rod was just a little too tight, so slacking that off and the buzzing all disappeared. But we'll check it all when it goes on the workbench, and we'll get all the action, intonation, neck relief, pickup height. We'll get it all sorted out, and it'll play amazingly. It'll play amazingly once I've dealt with it. Don't worry. I think these have now gone up to about £190, but they're still a steal. And the blue one looks fabulous. I actually would have liked the blue one, but that wasn't part of the sale. So we got the sunburst one instead. Actually, when you do that, you can actually see the grey pretty good. It's got figure, and it's just not quite as eye-catching as the review one I had. Like I say, the 5-string version isn't even available anymore. Only the 4s, but that's fine. That suits me fine. So yes, if you want to talk about any of the basses you see, or you want to... Joe Goose, good to see you, my friend. It's there, isn't it? It's that. Yeah. You're a friend of mine. If you want to talk about any of the basses here, if you've seen any basses here on the channel, on the videos or demos, you want to talk about them, ask some questions, feel free. I've got a Betsy from the Bass Centre here, of course. I've got to give Betsy a plug almost every video, I think, these days when we do a live chat. So, a Guy Pratt Betsy signature bass from the Bass Centre here in the UK. EMG's burgundy mist finish, outstanding value. Really good. Ooh, hello. There we go. Joe, you're swapping over accounts. We've been arguing on the Facebook JD group about Mark King. I'm trying to convince everyone Mark King is the best bassist in the world. That's a sticky, thorny issue, Joe. It'll end in tears, I swear. See, there was plenty of evidence for many years that he potentially was. But you now have to factor in kind of what he's done in the past 20 years plus. And he hasn't come up with any new material. And we all love Mark, of course, and a personal friend. But, you know, he hasn't pushed the bass playing envelope like Marcus Miller has continuously. New album, tour, new album, tour. Mark's literally kept to the stuff he recorded in the 80s and 90s. There's been no new material since Retrograde, and that wasn't, to be fair, a great album. So, yeah, I think that's where the argument for Mark as the best bass player in the world, that's where it falls down. That there hasn't been anything significant since 94. Really? It'll end in tears, I tell you. I've been privy to those sorts of discussions many times over the years. And, but there's no best. Look, music is art. There's no best. He's just fabulous at what he does. But then it's like occasionally he pull out a solo like the one the other week in Poland during Love Games. That whole 10-minute jam was outstanding. Yet sometimes when he takes a solo, I look at him and I think he's lost for ideas. It's like kind of he struggles to be as fluent as he once was. It's not a bad thing. It's just, aside from when they go out on tour and do festival shows, you know, he's not playing day after day after day like he did in the 80s and 90s. The actual argument is about a YouTuber, a ginger chap that has 1 million subs. People are saying he's better than Mark King. Well, that would be Charles Berto, I guess, the guy from Canada. Technically, maybe he is, but this is exactly what Mark would say. He is benefiting from things that Mark did 40 years ago. If Mark hadn't done what he did, Charles wouldn't have Mark's influence in his armoury. That's the difference. As Mark always says, anyone can do what I do, but you've got to come up with it in the first place. That's the deal. You know? Yeah, that's exactly what I said. There you go. Yeah. If it wasn't for Billy Sheehan, Marcus Miller, Stanley Clarke, Jacko, Mark King, Jack Bruce, John Entwistle, we'd all still be playing like Jet Harris. Probably. You know? These people come along and they change the envelope, they change the curve. And their influence then seeps into us as musicians. Now, had any of us never seen Larry Graham, Stanley Clarke or Mark King, whole generations of bass players probably would never have slapped. Would we? Really? Would Stanley Clarke have slapped if he hadn't seen Larry Graham do it? Where would Mark King be if he hadn't heard Stanley Clarke? Mark's big thing was Mahavishnu Orchestra and Jack Bruce. Stanley Clarke changed his, and he was a drummer, of course. I think Stanley Clarke's way of playing resonated with Mark, and he thought, well, I can do something with that. So yeah, that'd be my take. Charles Berto, amazing player, probably a lovely guy. I did get a little knocked with his Hotel California nonsense, and then bemoaning the fact that he'd had the video taken down and a copyright strike. He knew that was going to happen. It was clickbait. He knew that would happen. So to stand there and moan about Don Henley and the Eagles and how if by doing what they do, they're stopping the younger generations from finding Eagles. Nonsense, mate. The Eagles' history and influence is guaranteed you know for all time. Charles Berteau isn't. That's the thing. And he knew he was going to get a copyright strike for doing Hotel California. There's no way he didn't know. And I argued that point when he posted up about it. I said, mate, you knew that was going to happen. And your reply video is now clickbait to get people to go and click on that video. He knew what he was doing. Come on. Don't be naive. I think Stanley Clarke once heard level 42 on the radio and he thought it was him playing. He did. I think he got quite an art with Mark at once in the early days. Probably before Mark had ever met him, perhaps. And I mean, there are so much of that early level 42 stuff, especially some of the B-sides. Basically Stanley riffs, aren't they, in a different key? But we love Mark for it, you know. Open areas. How many British bass players hadn't really heard of Stanley Clarke? You know, if you were an 18-year-old in 1981, chances are you might not have even known who Stanley Clarke was, but now you would do because you can hear Mark's playing has turned your ear onto that. And if Mark in an interview says, "Oh, Stanley Clarke's a big influence on me," you're going to go and check it out, aren't you? I don't rate CB at all. Okay, just has no identity, no style. Anyone can learn those lines if they have the time. That's part of it. Lewis Wingrove, good to see you, my friend. You've caught a live show. Yes, indeed. Joe Goose. BT can't improvise, or at least I haven't heard him improvise. BT. Who do you mean? Okay. I'm sure he could. Like you say, you haven't heard him do it. Stacey, it's an asking for forgiveness instead of permission, but that didn't work. No, exactly. It's not going to work with Don Henley. He owes you nothing. Don Henley as a songwriter is going to be known for, you know, eons longer than Charles Berteau is going to be known for being an excellent bass player. Songs equal money. Technique doesn't. There you go, Stace. Lewis Wingrove is in the house. New purchases. What you got, my man? Lewis, I tried out the Boss Katana bass combo. I've actually got one in the garage, which I had here for a magazine review. And I contacted Boss to say, can I feature that on my channel? And they went, yeah, keep hold of it. Until you're ready to send it back. So there will be some videos of that at some point. It was so good, I just turned it off and walked away. Is that good or bad, Lewis? Pedal report, Stacey. Pedal report. Where did that come from? Oh, from Lewis, of course. Yeah. Sorry, I'm frommicking, guys and girls, sorry. Oh, an announcement I need to make as well. I should have done this actually on the last live chat when we had Neil Fairclough, but actually at the time I didn't know the news. So some of you regulars here will remember we used to have a guy posting on the channel and the live chats, and actually for about 2 years he posted a lot on the videos here on the channel. So there was a guy on here, his handle was YouTube is an influencer. His name was Paul, based in Glasgow, Scotland. And he first kind of crossed my path and got in touch late 2021. And basically, he was a fan of the channel, loved the videos. What I didn't know was he was very ill at the time. And he would say, you know, your channel kept me going through lockdown. But unfortunately, Paul had multiple cancers, fibromyalgia, a few other things. And lockdown had basically compromised his immune system. He wasn't able to see his doctors, wasn't able to go to the hospital, and a lot of other things. Anyway, he stayed in touch, got involved in the live chats and what have you. But his health rapidly declined at the start of this year. And in March, he sent me a message to say that he had been told that day that he only had a couple of months left to live. And he didn't know how long he got. He thought he had a couple of years. Turned out he had a couple of months. And kept in touch, and he turned up on a couple of the live chats. I think he was on the one at the end of May, and he was a lovely guy. Could be a little full on occasion, but I think it was just enthusiasm for the instrument. He'd been a bass player earlier on in his life, and he'd had a great collection and sold it on. And anyway, we stayed in touch up until about middle to the end of June. Didn't know how long he had. He actually passed away on July the 14th. Now, when we did the last proper live chat with Neil Fairclough, that was on the 25th of July. He'd already been dead 11 days. His executor of his will didn't tell me. I'd asked her to let me know. So, Paul, wherever you are, thank you for all your input on the channel, my friend. We had some right old conversations, lots of emails and chats here on the channel. Thank you for your friendship. Thank you for all the, the comments on the videos. Thank you for all your support during that time. So, Paul, wherever you are, love and best wishes, mate. And 56 years old. He turned 56 on the 28th of June. So we just saw his 56th birthday and passed away 2 weeks later. So here we are, mate. Right. Okay. The Game Changer Sustain Plus. Here we go. Is your newest pedal. Good. Joe Goose. That jazz bass has a great acoustic sound. Very snappy. Thank you very much. Ebony fingerboard. That's probably why. Lewis, I think I can cram 2 more on the board. You're out of room. Joe Goose, I think I remember. Paul. Lewis Wingrove. I tried out the Music Man Stingray. Okay. Very weak signal through my Ampeg Rocket 12. Was louder than the Ampeg 210 until I plugged in a Charvel. £1,000 for a Music Man weak. Right. The Music Man, what model was it? I'm guessing it was a Sterling by Music Man. Could well have been the setup. Got to set Stingrays up good with the pickup. Joe Goose, that's terrible news. Sorry to hear that. Yeah. I was shocked that I loved the Charvel at $1,100. Every bass, got every bass. Take it on its merits. Don't ever assume you know what a bass is going to do until you play it. Stacey, yes, Paul, rest in peace, dear soul. Cheers, Lewis, thank you for that. Steffi, so sorry to hear that. Rest in peace, Paul. Yeah, there we go. Where are we? It's 9:35 here in London. Thank you for all joining in. Live chat number 53 live chats. Woo! And actually, by the time we get up to the ones at the end of December, or mid-December before Christmas, I think we'll be in the 70s. It's crazy, really. So thank you for all your support, guys and girls. Very much appreciated. Thank you for those of you that keep coming back. I can't do it without you. It'd just be me talking to myself. And that results in a 45-minute live chat. Joe, how's the dog? The dog is very good. The dog is good. He nearly got a smack bum about an hour before we came on, he decided to do a wee in the house, which is an ongoing issue that we're trying to sort out. And however, we have discovered that he loves chasing a small football. So we're now wearing him out. So he gets a day, look at me. He gets a walk in the morning over at the Common, gets a 45-minute walk. He just can't get his head around doing a second walk. We take him locally where we live. He just won't walk. Just won't walk a second walk in the day. So the fact that he now will play with a small football and I can basically launch it up the garden, he'll run and get it, I'll go and meet him and launch it the other way. 20 minutes of that. He was wiped out this afternoon. Absolutely wiped out. He slept for about 2 hours afterwards. So yeah, he's doing good. Thank you for asking. Lewis, the Charvel Jazz was glassy. Nice sound and the feeling was good. Well, there you go. There you go. Only one problem, doesn't have 24 frets. Okay. No use getting a bass centre bass then, Lewis. They don't have 24 either. No, you were interested in some of those bass centre basses before we broke up for summer. Very good. Right, saw a message pop up there and I missed it. Apologise for you getting kind of the split screen thing. It was meant to be a duo live chat tonight, but you can't go in and turn that function off without deleting. Come on, YouTube, you can do that. I see the reception's just gone. So I look like something out of Legoland. Sorry, I missed the message there. Joe Goose, I was going to ask you, Mike, for the contact details. Heck, that's Chris Ward. Just literally contact the base centre in Bagshot and ask them to put you through to Chris. He's your man. I will forgive Betsy for that. Yeah, great base. One of my informed buys, that was. Very pleased with that. Yeah. Right, we're up to date on all the messages. Quick question, Joe. Why do you want Chris's details? I thought you used the gallery. Or are they just too busy at the moment? Lewis Wingrove, one thing to get a Betsy from the UK and a Charvel from the Guitar Centre. Yeah, I guess. You won't have VAT, but you might have an import duty. Or ask the base centre if they're shipping to any retailers in the US. Perhaps. I'm sure they either they'll have a distributor or a retailer that's going to carry that line. I can't imagine Barry wouldn't address that. Yeah, gallery's way too busy. They're always busy. I want to take the setup work to that guy you recommended at the base centre. Okay, cool. He will probably be quite busy too because he does all the setups on every base centre base before it leaves the store. So, but have the chat, have the conversation, see if he can fit you in. Chris is great. You'll pay the difference, will you, Lewis? Very good. Yeah, so Joe Goose, have you got your Mark King quote shirt ordered? One of those little fellas. Or perhaps you'd like a Chris Squire number, maybe? One of those. Or you could go the whole hog and have Session Supremo Nathan East. Doesn't have to be a white shirt. They come in black, navy, dark grey, charcoal grey. All sorts. You'll order one this week. Very good. Well done, sir. Wear it with pride. So I've got the Leland Sklar model on. The t-shirt's great. Really nice fit. Wash well. Iron well. All good. There we go. I know it looks black on screen. It is actually charcoal grey. Here we are. There we go. If you're going to order something this week, Joe, from tomorrow, if you order 2 items, you get a 20% off discount. And that's anything on the channel, on the merchandise store. Buy 2 items, you get 20% off. You need to look at the quotes. I can do it here, mate. So there's 4 quotes, 4 legends at the moment. It's got Lee Sklar. His quote was, "I still don't feel like I've got it right. Every day is a new adventure." Nathan East from 2014 said, "You have to play like it's the first and last time you will ever play it. Create a vibe, but dig down deep." Chris Squire's quote was, "Yes could be anything," as in Yes, the prog rock band. "In 100 or 200 years, there could still be a Yes band playing Yes music." And then we got Mr. King's quote, of course. "A chap said he left the show because the LEDs on my bass were too piercing and I should turn them off once in a while." As if. But there we are. Lewis, my home bass guitar, my buddy is a Schecter. Yes, I'm still trying to replace that one. When I find the perfect fit, $500 of heavy modified for now. Very good. Very good. So all the old merch, I say old, the previous merch you've seen here on the channel, that's all still available. Nothing is unavailable. So, you know, that design. You can have it on a mug, you can have it on a t-shirt, hoodie, mouse mat, phone case, iPad case, bags, socks. Or you can have it on a mug. There you go. You should see some of these items appearing underneath the video because I've set the product listing for this video with some of these items. So you're going to see some of these in the merchandise shelf underneath the video. You should do. There we go. I can see them. Got them there on my screen. Very good. Like I say, from tomorrow it's 20% off if you buy 2 items. So shop away, gang. And I'm awaiting Graham Potts to appear because I don't think he's bought a new hoodie to replace his old one, which got stolen. So someone's walking around in a stolen Brooks's Bass Corner hoodie. Hope you're promoting my channel, my friend, whoever you are. Lewis, my bastard Schecter bass hasn't been beat yet for sound and feel. I know they have thousands of bass guitars that will impress me, but I haven't found one yet. I'm searching. Keep searching. But if the Schecter's doing the business, you know, that's no bad thing. If you found your fit, be happy for it. Unfortunately, I've found lots of basses that fit. Yes, indeed. Including my 50th birthday bass. Yes, indeed. There we go. Yeah, we've got the glow on. Oh, no. There's a setting where it will actually start to do something. Not that one. Could be that one. Oh, it won't. Ah. It's not Christmas yet. It's close though. light some LEDs here. I look so smug, I'm sorry. You kind of, when you're playing, you've got a camera and that's your display, and you suddenly go into a bit of a trance because you want to make sure you're accurate. There we are. You haven't gone to Hollywood yet, Lewis? No, well. Yeah. LA and desert is mostly garbage. Guitar, I can get one in under 1 hour. Yeah, there we go. GB Rumor. Oh dear. Yeah, good to see you. Welcome. Don't think you've been here on the channel before, but you're very welcome. Hello, never been here before. Just read the sentence, Mike. It'll make more sense. Very good. Thank you. But I like the atmosphere. Thank you. Glad you're enjoying your time here. If I'm right, you have a Yamaha BB behind you. I have a BB 435. Try and do some bass covers. No. Right, I'll tell you what is behind me. There is a BB in my rack, but it's not behind me. So here, that's a JD Series 3 Supernatural, made here in the UK. That side, that's an Alembic Mark King Signature Standard. If you want a Yamaha BB, then this is what I have here. So it's a very, I won't say very cheap, but it's one of the cheaper models in their range. So this is a BB 235. Quite cheap, not expensive. Sounds pretty good. Got one sort of glaring issue with it. So if you've not been here on the channel before, there's a demo and a review video of this bass. So this came direct from Yamaha for review purposes for the channel. It needs to go back shortly. So anyway, you can play this. It's a 5-string. So it's in raspberry finish, plain white scratch plate. 2 pickups. Nice player, nice tones. However, if you can hear that, that rattling is the machine head. If I take my finger off that machine head, you get that rattling. It's not good. If I put my finger against it, it goes. Simple quality control thing that someone at Yamaha could have sorted out on the production line, and they chose not to. But other than that, it's a great bass to play and very good value for money. But a rattly piece of hardware, not good. You've got the 435, so that's the model up from this. Trying to do some bass covers. Good for you, sir. Lewis, San Diego has dingwalls. I'll take a trip in the future. Oh, you might like a dingwall. I think that's going to be right up your street. 24 frets. Changing scale length, but the low B will have you in tatters, Lewis. Possibly the best low B performance you'll hear on a bass is on a dingwall. Joe Goose, have I heard about the Andertons controversy? No. Please do spill. What controversy? What's happened? I'm a bit out of the loop lately, Joe. Family father-in-law died last week, and we've kind of been wrapped up in dealing with him and dealing with our mother-in-law, my mother-in-law, for the best part of about 3 or 4 months. So I'm a bit out of the loop on musical gossip. So please tell me what's going on. That's out of tune. Basically, they've been giving really great reviews on a certain products from a particular brand for years. It turns out that they own a large share in that brand. What's the brand? Although, to be honest, that's not that much of a controversy, to be fair. If a company has a stake in a product, they're going to give it a good review. It just means you've got to be a little more selective in the reviews that you trust and the reviews you don't. Which is why you come to Brooks's Base Corner, of course, because I don't have to give anything a good review if it doesn't deserve it. If something's bad, I'll tell you. And that's the same policy I had writing magazine reviews. If something's bad, I'm going to tell you. I can't have people buying equipment based on a review I might give, and I'm not giving them the truth. So. Lewis, the fret radius is what's holding me back on most brands. I love the 14-inch radius or more, such radius, frets and pickups configuration is all I'm really demanding. Right, well with radius, you've either got to change the neck or the fingerboard, or you're going to have to go down the custom bass route, or find a brand that accommodates the radius you like. They have a YouTube channel. Mark King's brother does a lot of their reviews. He did. I don't think he does many of them anymore. CC. Oh God, I can't remember what his surname is. They got CC doing the videos with the guy there now. So Fender is naturally gone, yeah, unless jazz, but the radius sucks. Okay, Gibson, forget about that. Yeah, don't look at Gibson for a bass, really. PRS even worse than Gibson. Maybe you need to go for a flat fingerboard, Lewis. Get yourself a status with a graphite neck, you'll love it. Your playing will suddenly speed up. I remember reading an article where a manufacturer said, oh, you've got to have a radius on a fingerboard. No, you don't. Nonsense. You don't. There's plenty of basses that don't have a radius on their fingerboard, so that's, pardon the expression, cobblers. Right. I love all those brands. My hands don't. Okay. Joe Goose, there's a 6-string Status Stealth on eBay right now. Yes, I think I saw that. And there was one at Bass Brothers as well. Yeah, Bass Brothers had a lot of Status stuff through lately. Quite a lot of streamlines as well. Are you going to let the Bass Brothers snap it up? I don't play 6-string, Joe. Have no need for one. Yeah, Bass Brothers can have it. They had a Warwick Streamer Stage 2 black one. It was really thin. But it looked very good. And they got that for 1,200 quid, and they put it up, I think, for about 124, I think. Oh, Will's not doing bad, is he? Will's doing very well. So people that just heard me reference a status streamline don't know what I'm talking about. Let me show you. I have streamlines right here. So kind of a status's take on a Steinberger, basically. So all the wonderfulness of status, graphite, through neck, all of that. 2-band EQ, sadly, not a 3-band. This is a slightly custom model. So this was made for the original owner. I think I'm the 3rd or 4th owner. It's got satin neck instead of a gloss neck. Medium scale, sorry. So it's got a bend well. So the strings don't have the speaking length of the regular 34-inch scale model, but it is very easy to play. But it's a little disorientating because you've got a lack of body, and when it's up against you, you've got nothing for your arm really to rest on. Otherwise, you end up playing like a bit of a spanner. So, best thing to do is place your thumb on a pickup and away you go. But there is no body here for you to put your hand. You can, but when you're playing live, unless you're playing it up under your chin, a la Mark King in the early 80s, or the bass player from Imagination, who used to play it up here. Yeah, it's not going to really work, but great sounding bass, very handy if you're playing abroad. So small, look into it. Bend well, of course. So if you don't know how this works, you can play a note or a harmonic. So if I play a harmonic, I can bend it. You can bend it, and you bend well. Lewis Wingrove, I'm sure the 24 frets rule will be the first standard I drop for purchase on a new toy. Yeah, you'd be surprised. When I was younger, and I was kind of building the list of basses I wanted to own as my career developed, like you, every bass, got to have 24 frets, got to have 24 frets. You then learn over time, you don't go up there that often. You really don't. And the only time I ever notice it really, when I'm doing Queen tributes and I'm doing Don't Stop Me Now. It's got a little bass motif at the front, which is a lot easier on a 24 fret bass than a 20 or a 21. And you start, and but other than that, really, if I think about it, you even because you've got like the double octave, you know, sometimes you might play a note and you want the 12th. Great. Very rare that I then go to the 24th. You just don't. You don't. People always say they will and they don't. So, you know, take each instrument on its merits, and if it sounds good, feels good, and you get enjoyment playing it, go for it. Doesn't have to have 24 frets, really. Joe Goose, I go up high a lot, and I am just as happy on a 24 fret as a 24. A very handy bass if you're going abroad. Just nice to have around the house. I don't use it as much as I thought I was going to, if I'm honest. I bought it for travelling abroad gigs, and then we got hit with COVID, and that was that out the window. I've only done 2 gigs abroad since, and one I used Betsy, and the other one a bass was hired in. So yeah, I didn't think much of them, to be honest. You're talking about the Streamline, I guess. Yeah, not the greatest look. I think States kind of, they did all right with this. It was, I mean, God, they sold quite a lot of them, but and it is handy to have. in my old age, it will be a godsend, of course, because it's so light. Oh, the new status bases, right? Yes. I think the prices are a bit inflated, but Rob can charge what he wants, and I think they've sold out anyway, haven't they? Isn't that the case? Probably Daisy Peppers bought them all. I'm waiting for her to open her base shop. Let me know when you're selling your Streamline. I'll be first in the queue. I'll hold you to that. I'll remember. I believe that this is Lewis Wingrove. I believe that 24 is for messing around and practice in a band setting. 18 frets is enough. No, but well, yes. Like I say, when you're doing "Don't Stop Me Now" by Queen, it feels odd. For years, I played it on my Empathy, 24 frets. But I remember the first time I played in a Queen tribute, and I'm playing it on a Precision. Of course, I've done my practice at home and I've run the song, but it was a real wake-up call. It was like, oh, I'm about to run out of frets here, but it was fine. Yeah. Where do we go? Oh, I can't even remember. Because I'm having a good time. And you're in. Yeah. There we are. Andy Fraser needed those high frets. Yes, he did. And he was playing a Gibson SG. Did I ever interview Andy Fraser? No, I didn't, unfortunately. I love Andy Fraser. I love Free. Huge influence on me, Andy Fraser. I never got to meet him. I think the last interview we did at the magazine was him interviewing Glenn Hughes. I don't even know if Joel was there. Maybe he wasn't, but he had interviewed Andy Fraser a couple of times. No, I never got to meet him, sadly. What player? Tasty player. Kids, if you don't know who Andy Fraser is, you must know who Free are. And if you don't know who Free are, educate yourself. Go on Spotify, go on YouTube, check out Free. Andy Fraser. Check out as much of the live stuff as you possibly can. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. And literally any bass legend you speak to will cite Andy Fraser as an influence. Just amazing. Shame that he never really got, after Free, he never did. He wasn't in another band that was hugely popular. I think he had so much more to give. He just didn't do it. But hey, Free, what a legacy. Christ. Six albums. It's all there. Stacey, all right now, exactly. Mr. Big. Steeler. Little bit of love. I'll be creeping. All of those. Yeah, great band and bassist, exactly. He really was. He was quite fabulous. And then he died. I think it was the day before Mike Porcaro, or the day after. They both died 2 consecutive days. I can remember the gigs I was on that weekend. Mad. I think he did a lot of acoustic singer-songwriting stuff. Okay. I think he made enough money out of the Free back catalogue. You think how many times All Right Now gets played after Free had split up. Probably did well enough just out of that, but I wasn't really into that though. No, me neither. I just wish he could have been in a big, like a world famous band. It would have been great. He was so young. He was in Free when he was like 16, 17, 18. I mean, what a legacy. But to do, your peak was the first thing you did. That's a shame. Because I bet in terms of being a musician, his musicianship would have got better as he got older. But there we are. Yeah, he was only 62. Well, yeah, when he died. Yeah. I think he had AIDS, as I recall. I think he died of pneumonia. Lewis, I was enjoying Mr. Sklar's work on car audio at a very young age. Quite right too, Mr. Sklar. We love the Sklar. Bless him. Yeah. So if you've got any questions about basses, bass gear, amplifiers, bass guitars, pedals, accessories, strings, setting up a pedal board, setting up your bass, if your gear's breaking down, and you just want some general bass advice, let me know. If I can help, more than happy to do so. Same as the level 42 guitarist. Boom, you mean? Yeah, yes, he would have been 62 when he passed. That time's flown by. I keep thinking he died while we were in lockdown. It wasn't, it was a year before lockdown. Lewis Wingrove, Dan Fleetwood had me hooked at 6 years old. Alan Murphy. Alan Murphy wasn't 62 when he died. Oh, sorry. Sorry, I'm getting conversations mixed. Sorry. Eyes are going scatty. Stacey was saying Andy Fraser was 62. Right, got it. George Iliadis, all the way from Melbourne in Australia. Good to see you, my friend. How you doing? Hope you're well. Stacey, yes, we do love the Scott. Your moment about Alan Murphy also died of AIDS. Mate, I remember that happening. I was at A-level college, and I'd only seen him earlier that year playing. Amazing. Kev Smith, although not a bass player, Bernie Marsden died last week. Do you know what last week was? Hard work. So my father-in-law passed away last Wednesday at the age of 89. Then on Thursday, I got the news that Chris Overland, who was the original guitarist, one of the original songwriters with Steve Overland in the original incarnation of FM, he died last Thursday. So I was in a band with Steve for 17 years. Met Chris once. Lovely guy. I'd heard he could be a bit... he picks and chooses who he wanted to be pleasant with. He and I got on fine. No problems with us. And he was very nice, very courteous, very gracious. And he died on Thursday. So I had my father-in-law Wednesday. Chris died Thursday. I messaged Steve on WhatsApp, brief chat. And then Friday, Bernie Marsden died. And then there's an FM connection there. So with my old bandmates. So Bernie used to get up on stage with FM. His whole Whitesnake thing and connection on the British blues scene would have got him involved with FM throughout their career anyway. But also the guitarist in FM, Jim Kirkpatrick, was Bernie's guitarist. So it was this weird interweaving of bands and personalities. And just 3 days of craziness, really. So yes, I never met Bernie Marsden. I heard a lot about him though. Yeah, God bless them all. Your mum met FM once on the ferry. I presume that would be back in the halcyon days, not in the last 17 years. 17? 16 years. Right, yeah. Yeah. There we are. So it was a weird week last week. Very odd all round. But we're in, as Billy Sheehan said to me in 2016, we're in that corridor. You know, all the talent that we've had since like the 50s and 60s, 70s, they're all passing. The worry is that there isn't enough fresh blood coming in to fill those shoes. That's the worry. But it is what it is. It's the passing of time. You know, we were in a very creative bubble in the 50s, 60s, 70s and 80s. So it is what it is. Can't stop progress. Can't stop time, you know. It is what it is. Space Corner mugs here. I think you should be able to see that mug on the merch shelf directly below this video window. Yeah, you can. Or I can. It's the very first item. They come up great in the dishwasher. This one's been in it, must be well over 100 times. Hasn't faded yet. Doing the business. Sorry, Mum, I can't change it. I can't change it without ending the live chat and then having to start up on a new stream. You just have to live with it, I'm afraid. Or turn the subtitles on. You can keep up with the chat by subtitles. It could just be the volume I'm talking at rather than blaring. Or maybe it's just the camera. Maybe the camera's too far away from me. If you want me to bring the camera nearer, see if that helps. But I have a feeling it's a technology issue. That's what I'm thinking. Apologies to people across the pond. You won't have any clue who Norman Collier is. So he was a British comedian, and his whole act was based on having a microphone with a dodgy lead, but it didn't have a dodgy lead. It was just him going, and that was his act, and he managed to trot that out for the best part of about 70 years. But there we go. So yeah, I think you've Googled him before, Stace. It's funny the first time you see it, but after you've seen it like a million times, it's like it's the same act, same gag every time. Graham, here we go. The man who had his hoodie stolen. Hope you're well, my mate. Hope all good. Sorry, I'm in late in the chat. You fine, mate? Apparently, there's some sound issues, so you just have to bear with us. Stacey, oh yes, that guy. Yeah. I remember seeing Lemmy dozen of times on Sunset Boulevard. Yeah, his shorts were so small. Oh dear, I thought it was a hooker for years until I figured it out. That'd have been a very ugly hooker then. Blessed with good looks, Lemmy wasn't, sadly, but there we are. Great, there we are. Stacey's saying hello. There we go. Yeah. So there we have it. You've missed a lot of level 42 chat, Graham. Me and Joe Goose have been chewing the level 42 fat. The thought of Lemmy in shorts. That's as bad as Brian Robertson in shorts, and I've seen that. That wasn't particularly pleasant. So it's 10:15 here in London town. This is live chat number 53 here on Brooksy's Space Corner. Merch links, new range of t-shirts, Base Legend quotes. Links to the merch are in the description box below, as are the affiliate links for Thomann, Amazon, Gear for Music, and Andertons. Joe Goose, you didn't tell me what was the brand that Andertons have been giving over positive reviews of, or is it Sire? Is that what it is? That wouldn't surprise me because they've been distributor for Sire since Sire came out. Lemmy have good legs. Oh my god, that's too much info. I dread to think. Victory amps. Oh, okay. Yes, so they yeah, well, they were pumped out as being like the best of the best, weren't they? But if they're involved in it, they're gonna, they're gonna put a positive spin on it. So, oh well. I didn't know they were involved in the manufacture of those. So what did they just put the money up? Because it was quite a small operation, as I recall. Keith Doherty, good to see you. I tried the Elf a few years ago with the new 110 cab, but Wasn't impressed with the cab. Didn't have great depth, I thought. Okay. See, the thing with the Elf and the 110, a 110 cab is only going to get you so far. You've got to add the extra cab. Or, as I did in my case, I paired an Elf with a 212 Neo cab. Works great. Sounds great. You're getting the extra roundness that the 12-inch cones give you, and you've got two of them in one sizable box. And as I said earlier, you can't get away from physics. It doesn't matter how the companies dress it up and tart it up that, oh, we've got small light cabinets and we've got amazing speakers. I mean, it's physics. You can't get away from physics when it comes to bass frequencies. You need power and you need a big box to push those frequencies out. When I say a big box, I don't mean like a 4x12 cabinet or an 810, but a 2x12 cabinet is going to give you better definition, roundness, depth of bass tone than a single 110 in a very small box that really is no bigger than the outer circumference of the speaker. Portability, yes, and you will get an okay bass tone, but you can't get away from physics. That's the simple thing. Okay, what do I think of the new small trace cabs? I'm a huge Trace Elliot fan, older stuff. Okay, as I said earlier, Keith, you probably missed this part of the conversation because it's quite early on in the chat. New Trace is nothing really to do with Old Trace. Old Trace was a company built with the technology they had at the time, the designers and engineers that they had at the time. Trace Elliot now is made by Peavey, in Peavey's factory, by Peavey's staff. It is basically a brand name, not really a company. So anyone that compares Old Trace with new, it's not a fair comparison. It's too, you might as well compare Ashdown with Mark bass. It's the same concept. It's not the same thing. So Old Trace, what it was at the time, legendary, amazing design, completely raised the bar for bass amplification, changed the bass amplification world. Basically, every manufacturer was chasing what Trace were doing. Trace now, well, it's small, portable, effective bass equipment, some good tones, but you've got to, if you're going to use small, lightweight gear, you're going to need two cabs, depending on the application. So if you're just practicing at home, or you're just playing in like a coffee bar with a small like acoustic band or a small rehearsal, you're fine. You're going up with a rock drummer, loud drum kit, loud guitars, you're going to need two cabs. Personally, the small 110s, the 2.8s, that's all fine if you've got PA reinforcement for your bass delivery, your tone. If you are totally reliant on your backline for what the audience hears, you're better off taking the Elf head and pairing it with bigger cabs. So I can't move the camera, but anyway, I've got an Aguilar SL212 here, an EBS Neo 212 cab. That's going to suit you better. And I've done some fairly largish venues, big crowds, corporate events with a 212 and an Elf head. And for years before that, I used to use a Gallion Kruger MB200. Small, lightweight, portable gear, great tone, big, and I had PA reinforcement. So that's kind of where I am. But yeah, to compare Old Trace with New Trace, it's not a fair comparison. It's totally different. Different technology, different design parameters. They're designing for portability now, not back-busting cabinets that will basically make you pop a ball as soon as you start walking up the stairs. It's not the same. And I love the SMX head, by the way. Lewis Wingrove, but that face stopped traffic. It's Lemmy's face. Yeah. Bless him. Never met Lemmy, but heard many stories. Right, Keith Doherty. I tried the a few years ago. Didn't have great depth. Okay. Stacey. Yeah. Okay. And then there's another thing there from Stacey. Lewis, your Fleetwood Mac at 6 years old was my average white band at that same age. Good band. You had to keep your head down for safety. Didn't want to see his twig and berries. So let me legs it. It is, yeah. Okay. So I'm trying to scroll without losing the conversation. Keith, I used the BLX 150. You know BLX standard for bollocks, don't you? That was how they got away with it. The first BLX combo was called affectionately the dog's bollocks. So BLX was the yeah. Link to the BLX 80. Okay, as an extension card. This sounds great. Both have 10-inch. Cool. Okay. Again, the BLX stuff. It was a different time, different technology. The company was different. The engineers were different. Everything Trace now is built by PV. So yeah. No Lemmy Twig and Berries. Oof. Yeah. The things you put up with shopping for new records, CD in my case. Okay, I'm a bit lost there, Lewis, but there we are. Okay, Ilya Grigoriev. Good. A question. I've had a tension and pain in my left wrist when playing for the last 2-3 days. It's been my concern. Is it okay, and will my wrist get used to it, or am I doing something wrong? Uh, I don't know how you have your base positioned. So I've had wrist issues. I had a wrist issue about 5 years ago where I can't remember what caused it. Yes, I can. I was getting changed in my car on a function gig, and I was bending my arm around the seat next to me, around the back to get, I think, like my tie or my shirt, and I basically really tightly twisted that part of my left wrist, and I kind of strained the muscle along here that led down to the wrist. I woke up the next day and I had a shooting pain going up that wrist. And about a few days later, I had to go to India. I had to wear like a wrist support. I couldn't see the doctor, put some anti inflammatories on it. Nothing worked. And it was like it was permanently strained. And I had that for like 10 months. I got to see a physiotherapist after about 7 months. Couldn't get to the bottom of what was causing the problem. But in 2012, I'd had tennis elbow in my right elbow. An acupuncture solved it. It was like someone putting a key in a lock and doing all the acupuncture things with the needles, and it all solved it, and it's never come back. They did, after physio on this wrist, they did a load of acupuncture, and it solved it. So I'm not saying that's the solution to your wrist problems, but if you've got wrist problems, what sort of angle do you have your base at? Do you have your base really low down? Do you have it round about your stomach? Do you have it higher? When you're fretting, is your muscle line sort of fairly straight and relaxed? Or have you got, if you've got a base high up, you're going to get sort of an intense flex on your wrist. Also, if you have your base low down, think about it. And as your base gets lower, your wrist and your forearm are even more tight. There's no suppleness there. So if you play your bass really low, you might want to bring it up a bit. Traditional position, left hand on the fretboard. Okay, it's to do with height more than anything. So you want your playing hands relaxed as much as possible. Don't put unnecessary pressure either on your elbows, your wrists, your fingers, your knuckles, and warm up a bit before gigs. We're all getting older. For years, I just used to pick a bass up and play, and then got tennis elbow. Not from playing, but it's all interconnected. And my doctor and my physio all said the same thing. You're not 20 anymore. At that point, you're 40. Things are starting to wear out, so you need to warm down after a gig. Before you go on, do all these flexes, little stretches. It's not rocket science, but for years you don't do it. And then as you get older, you realise you've got to warm your muscles up, same as an athlete. And certain songs over the years, things like Mr. Brightside, Sex on Fire, if you're a fingerstyle player, there's a lot of that going on. You know, it's a lot of stress. And you're playing them night after night after night. I'm sure playing Mr. Brightside really fast and hard for a couple of years didn't really help with the tennis elbow situation. So, you know, just warm your joints up, warm your fingers, warm your arm muscles up. You know, if it's cold, you'll feel it. You will feel it. So do the warm-ups. Don't have your bass too low. Don't have it too high. Have it around about the middle. If it persists, go and see your doctor. But try some of these sort of warm-up things. There's loads of it on YouTube. Various sort of physios and experts on posture and joints and all that. There's plenty of it. You might want to look at a supplement. You might also need like a cod liver oil kind of thing, or some glucosamine might help. I'm vegetarian, I take flaxseed oil, so that kind of helps. But aside from the tennis elbow and that wrist thing, I've had nothing. But the acupuncture solved it all. So that's what works for me. But just try some warm-ups and don't put your joints and your fingers and your muscles under strain. Not if you're going to be playing. But none of us are getting younger, so you know, warming up is good. Joe Goose, Trace were amazing back in the day. Yeah, they were. I was there. It's a shame not many amps are hand built like that anymore. It's cost. It's all cost related. Graham, me too. Those old Trace watts were loud. Yes, they were. You look at those heads, and some were 150 watts. They were a lot louder than some of the 500-watt Class D amps. So you know, sometimes you look at that and go, "Oh, it's only 150 watts." Yeah, it's loud though. Loud and punchy, and the cabinets were designed for full frequency performance. You know, that's why they weigh a lot. They're not neo cabs, but there's a market for all that stuff now. Yes, indeed. Haven't seen Martin Fay from Dublin. He must be on holiday, or he'll turn up just as we're about to go at the end of the live chat. Come on, Martin, where are you? So, for those who've joined since I last did the announcement, from next Tuesday, we're back to regular Tuesdays, 8 o'clock, here on Brooks's Base Corner in London town. And I've booked up every Tuesday from the 5th of September next week right through to the 19th of December. So we will be here every Tuesday at 8 o'clock. I'm going to try and line up some special guests so we can do the duo thing like we did last time with Neil Fairclough. There might even be some, if I can get my head technologically around this, where we can have multiple guests on the same chat. Could be a thing. So we'll see how we go. And actually, that last live chat with Neil Fairclough has now become the most watched live chat here on the channel. It's done over 500 views. So thank you to all of you that got involved that night. And thank you to all of you who've watched it since. Stacey, the cloth packets folks use in the winter in their gloves to keep warm are wonderful around your wrist to keep them warm before playing. There you go. Hot hands. There we are. Yeah, I probably first recognised it probably around about 2010, 2011. When we got into the winter months, and again, it's a thing of getting old. You notice, or I used to notice my forearm muscles were really like tight. And if you're playing really hard on a gig, you sometimes get these little shooting pains across the muscles. Another reason to warm up beforehand. And the docs are right. You know, it's no different than an athlete warming up before they go for a run or performance in a sporting event. It's just as younger players, you don't feel the need to do it. You just pick your instrument up and away you go. As you get older, you're wearing all of this material in your arms and your muscles and your joints. You're wearing it away. So, you know, you got to keep on it. Keep on it. Warm up. Lewis, next pedal will be a game changer Bixby pitch shifter. I've heard you mention that before, Lewis. Last one will be a universal audio dual compressor. And I've heard that one too. Ilya, everything is so simple. I checked my position now and realised I bend my hand too much. Just need to change your position. Yeah, just modify. You'll find what works, and if that pain goes, come on to next week's live chat. Tell me how you're getting on. But the whole, I've had this discussion with a lot of younger players who, because it's fashionable, wear your bass low with a pick. Mike Dirnt, Green Day. I used to do a Green Day tribute. Used to play the bass down here, and the neck's coming up at an angle, and your whole left wrist is completely tight. Bring the bass up a little bit. Suddenly your hand's like that. It's not so tight, is it? That can make a big difference. And lots of rock players get, if they're right-handed, they'll get left wrist problems or left arm problems, left elbow problems. I've seen it loads of times. As soon as you say to them, why don't you just bring your bass up a little? Oh, it doesn't look cool. All right, then you can suffer in pain. But if you just bring it up a little bit, you're not creating such extremes on your hands and your wrists and your arms. It's a lot more comfortable playing like that than it is like that. Yeah. As soon as you look at it and you think as a matter of course, it becomes very obvious. There you go. I hope that helped. I hope that helped. But just keep an eye. If you keep getting the pains, go and see your doctor. But just, before you play, just warm up, relax the muscles, little stretching, not hard, not. Don't put your muscles under pressure, but just. I now have a permanent click in this wrist. Now it's not going to click. But in the morning when I wake up, there we go. It's about here. All because I stretched around the back of my car seat to get a tie or my shirt or whatever it was. And I put complete stress on my arm and my wrist. Then did a gig, drove home, went to sleep. Next day, left with it. I've got that. But it's not painful anymore. But it will click. But acupuncture solved that, and it solved that. And that has never flared up again since. So fingers crossed. There we go. Hope that helps. Great advice. I'm definitely going to apply the position techniques for comfort. There you go. Sometimes it's the simplest things. Really. It is. You can play in the same way for years and years and years and years, and then one day something just goes wrong. And then when you step back from it and think, well, what's caused that? Why? And then you look at things like position. Loads of people get shoulder problems, back problems, neck problems, and then you realise they play all hunched up and sat over their instrument, and that's not. You've got to relax. Just don't tense up. Sometimes when you're learning stuff, you'll tense up and got to get it right. No, just chill out. Just let it go. Just play. Be sensible about it. You'll learn it quicker. You'll get it right quicker, and you won't cause yourself any stress problems. Enjoy your play. Don't make it hard work. I see a lot of young players and got a ball of tension. You're not going to learn anything like that. You're just going to cause yourself a problem. Just take it easy. Learn stuff slowly. If you learn stuff slowly and repeat it, you're going to learn it a lot better and a lot quicker. It'll stay up there and you'll develop muscle memory. If you try and do everything really quick, you've got no muscle memory. Muscle memory takes time, repetition. You aren't giving the muscle any time to develop the memory and the feeling of familiarity. There you go, voice of experience. There we go, thumbs up from Steffi. So yeah, there we are. So if you're enjoying the live chat tonight, you aren't already a subscriber here, please hit the subscribe button. Please give the video a thumbs up as well. They're very much appreciated. Feel free to leave comments. If you're watching this at a later date, live chat windows ended because obviously it's not a live chat. You can still communicate, leave comments. As soon as I get a notification from YouTube that there's a comment related to this video, I'll come on and reply and respond. And yes, if you've got any questions or just anything regarding the video or the channel, just leave a comment and I'll come back to you as soon as I can. If you find live chat helpful, educational, solving problems, feel free to go into the live chat window, hit the emoji button, add emojis as you wish, it's good for the channel. And there's also the super chat option there, so you can make a financial donation to the channel. It can be a small amount, it can be a large amount, it's entirely up to you. So that's called super chat. There's also the super thanks button, which exists on every video here on Brooks's Base Corner because we're a monetized channel. So you've got the thumbs up, the thumbs down, you've got the share button, the shop button, the save button. You'll see there's a love heart with a dollar symbol. That's called super thanks, which works exactly the same way as super chat. So you literally click the icon, say how much you want to donate to the channel, and that just allows us to keep producing videos, buying the items that you see in the reviews, the demos, the workshop videos, all the hardware that allows us to run the channel. So thank you to all those who've donated either via super chat or super thanks, or bought merchandise, of course. Got to keep plugging the new t-shirts and the mugs. Or those who've bought stuff through the affiliate links. So merchandise and affiliate links are in the description box below. And thank you very much once again to Chris Cuthbertson, who did a super chat payment earlier on this evening. Thank you very much, Chris. That was very much appreciated. Thank you. And I hope what we were talking about regarding the amps and the cabs and stuff and the bass synths, I hope that helps. So if you've got any questions about bass playing, bass guitars, bass equipment, amps, cabinets, combos, pedals, strings, accessories, gig bags, how to set up a pedal board, got any questions, fire them away via the live chat window and I will try my best to answer them. And if I can't, then one of the fine people here on the channel, guests on the live chat, may well have the answer that I don't. Solved many a problem here on Brooks's Base Corner, so that's what we're here for. We've got 9 people on at the moment. Good to see you all. Cheers. Hope you're all safe and well. Enjoying the end of summer as we reluctantly enter September. Can't believe where this year's gone. Just blown by. Crazy. It was February a couple of weeks ago, I swear. It's been a crazy old year. So yes, next week we will be back into the regular format. Tuesday nights, 8 o'clock, here on Brooks's Base Corner. There's one Tuesday when it won't be a Tuesday. It'll be a Monday, and that's at the end of October, because we've got a family birthday on the 31st, which is the Tuesday. So that week, it's on the Monday. But other than that, every Tuesday from the 5th of September till the 19th of December. Then we'll have a break over Christmas, come back again in the new year. And we'll probably repeat what we've done this year. So we'll go up till the end of May, have a break over the summer, just do the one live chat a month, and then come back in September again. It seems to have worked, I think. So where's everyone playing this week? What gigs are people on? What gear are you taking? Anyone got new toys to play with? They need to get out there and road test. I know I've got loads of pedals for you guys. So for those who haven't been on live chat, Lewis Wingrove, of course. Let me just grab the latest purchase. There we go. So Lewis, an MXR poly blue octave pedal. It's got all sorts of distortions and filters and phasers and all sorts all built in. So this came about 2 weeks ago. Had my eye on one for ages, but the prices have been up and down like a tart straws. So it's here at last. Let's get it out of the bag. So, and apparently when you plug it in and start using it, all the controls light up, which is feels like a bit of bling here at Brooks's Bass Corner, of course. So we've got controls for fuzz, mono, dry, sub 1, sub 2. Joe Goose, thank you very much for your super chat payment, £5. Fabulous. Thank you. Oh, I can do something here. Celebrate the first super chat from moment to moment. I click on that. Does that do anything? Oh, there we go. Can I click on that? I don't know. No, that's all okay. That's very good. Thank you, Joe. Bless you. So yes, we've got dry, so it'll be the main signal. Sub 1, sub 2. Okay, then we've got modulation, an octave 1 and octave 2, input, output, and an expression pedal output as well. Was that an input? That'll be an output, won't it? And then you can affect that. There'll be the wah element of it, I guess. But anyway, videos to come. Stacey Ann, super chat payment. You got a notification to celebrate the first super chat from moment to moment. Thank you. Well done. And actually, I need to go back and like Chris Cuthbertson's payment as well. There we go. Beautiful. Thank you, everyone. Very much appreciated. Keeps the channel going. All these super chat, super thanks payments, and buying the merch and affiliate purchases. Thank you. I can't do it without you, so bless you. Thank you very much, everyone. Well done. So yeah, video review and demo videos of this to come very shortly, along with the other 3 you can't see. So we've got those Source Audio pedals from earlier in the year. They will be coming very imminently. And I know I keep saying it, they will. Because now we're out of summer and I don't have festival shows. I can crack on with the content I'd planned on here. Keith Doherty, have you tried the NUX NBP5 Melvin Lee Daves? Bass preamp and DI? No, I haven't. I bought one a few months ago, mainly use it for silent practicing at the moment. Sounds amazing. I will check it out, Keith. I'll check it out tomorrow. I'll Google it and check some videos and stuff out. I tend to use, well, I don't think you've been on the channel that often, but I do a lot of gigs where I'm running off a pedal board with in-ear monitors, no backline. And on that board, as well as my effects, what goes out to the front house is from an Aguilar Tone Hammer preamp pedal, and that's what I generally use. I don't use it as a headphone practice amp or anything at home because there's no headphone output on it. But I use that as my main bass preamp if I'm with Uncle Funk and I'm not using any backline, and that works great. Sound men are always really happy with that. So, but I've not checked that out, so I will have a look. See what that's all about. Thank you for the heads up. Wow, super chat flurry tonight. Well done. Thank you, guys. That's wonderful. Thank you. We will eat this week. I'm joking. I've got 2 Uncle Funk shows to go, so yeah. Now, Graham, what did you buy? You bought something, didn't you? We were talking on Saturday on the impromptu live chat. Remind me what it was you bought? Was it a pedal? I think it was a pedal, wasn't it? We had an impromptu live chat on Saturday before I went out to the gig, and Graham was saying he bought something. I can't remember what he said it was now. It wasn't new bass, so I'm thinking it was a pedal. Graham, remind me, what was it? He's gone to sleep. He's got to play his bass, perhaps. It was a backbeat, thank you. I was thinking about it yesterday and I'm racking my brains going, what was it he bought? Yes, the backbeat, that's right. The backbeat 2. And did you take that out on Saturday? I don't know. Did you have a gig Saturday? Sorry, I realise all you can see is the side of my head while I'm looking at the laptop for the replies. It's not the most glamorous look, but Steffi, oh, by the way, thanks for your best wishes on my job interview last time. Well, it wasn't a real job interview. I applied in a very famous school, did professional retrain and become a preschool teacher. Very good. Joe Goose, I'll say goodnight, everyone. Have to wash up now and then go to bed early. Excellent. Cheers, Joe. Thank you for the super chat payment. Very much appreciated, mate. Speak to you soon. Maybe see you next week. Been waiting 9 months for an answer, and the day after last live chat, they finally accepted me as a student. So school starts next week. Excellent. Make the most of it and get every nugget you can out of any sort of education. Make it work for you. So you all brought me good luck, and Neil, of course, yes. Fine chap. He'll be off. He'll be off doing rehearsals and pre-production for the American Queen tour shortly. I haven't spoken to him this week. Actually, we did speak. Was it Friday? Might have been Friday. I think we exchanged messages. But thank you to everyone on the last live chat for sort of getting involved with Neil Fairclough and what have you. We had a great live chat that night. That was great. I don't think he quite expected he was going to do 3 hours, but the chat was flowing and it was good fun. Graham, I have 3 gigs this weekend. Excellent, and only used it once. It's definitely an accessory rather than a tool, if that makes sense. Okay. So does that mean you're not going to use it every gig, or you are, or Mel Williams? Can't hear you. My system is fine. No, we know that something's going on with the live stream tonight. But thank you for saying. Nice to meet you. Thank you for coming on the channel. We were alerted early. The only way I can remedy it is to cancel this live chat and start another one. And kind of we've been going 2 hours and 50 minutes. So it seems a bit daft to do that at the moment. I apologise. I will put an apology in the description box once this video finishes. If you can't hear me, I'm guessing you might want to hit the subtitles facility on the video window. Maybe that might be already up and working. I don't know actually. Is that a thing? Subtitles going? Oh, they're unavailable because the video is live and it hasn't already been uploaded. I'm sorry. Sorry, Gay. Occasionally we have this where you start a live stream and it's like having a bad phone line. And if there's a problem with the sound, we haven't had it for a long, long time, but there was a couple of live chats when the channel first started and the sound wasn't great. And it's basically the broadband. I can't do anything other than end it and start again, and then all the links that are across social media become redundant because we've moved off of that. Anyway, you get the picture. Keith Doherty, sorry, what's a backbeat? Never heard of it. Okay, it's so have you heard of the Porter and Davis platform that players like Dave Swift use? So basically, Dave Swift is the bass player in Jules Holland's band. I'm sure you probably know that, Keith. And he stays put on stage. He doesn't tend to move around. So basically, the Porter and Davis platform is like the butt kicker for drummers. So it's a vibrating chair. So they can have their bass drum, they can have some of the bass players. So basically, running a sub bass feed into the chair, and you feel it. So the same principle works on this platform. So as a bass player on IEMs, if you've got no backline on stage, you can't feel any rumble, any bass frequency. For some players, it's very disconcerting because they're so used to having that when they're playing. What the backbeat does is you attach it to your strap or you run it in your pocket or whatever, and it basically does the same thing. So you get like as you play a bass note, it'll vibrate and the frequency will run across your back, across the bass strap that you're wearing. And that's what the backbeat is. I can see the point in these things, and I understand the physics and the technology of what it's doing and why. I've been on IEMs with Uncle Funk because we're a band that has no backline. Occasionally on a theatre show I might take an amp and a cab just for safety's sake, but on festivals I don't. I run on a pedal board, IEMs, and that's it. I'm very happy with the sound I get on my IEMs in that band. I have no need for vibrating platforms or backbeats or any of that, because in that band we're able to tailor our own mix using an iPad or a phone or whatever each of us wants to use. I use an iPad. Basically, I have the whole band, everything, drums, horns, the lot, and I can tailor that so it sounds like a CD in my ears. But I have no need for bass rumble and bass while I'm playing. I just like clarity. I like to be able to hear everything. It's like listening to a CD with your headphones on. So I'm perfectly okay with that. But some players want backbeat or the Porter and Davis platform. That's just a preference. But that's what the backbeat. So yeah, it kind of replaces what your backline would do if you stood in front of it. That's the principle anyway. Does that make sense? That's okay, Keith. That's what we're here for. Education. So for some of you, here's a funny one. You may not have seen the impromptu live chat I did a week and a half ago. So I was playing a gig outdoors in Bristol and it started raining. Now generally, since we came out of lockdown, a lot of the festivals and open air gigs and outdoor gigs I've done, the weather's been fine. Okay, we've had no problems. This summer we've had 3 or 4 gigs that have just been horrible because of the weather, torrential rain, health and safety issues on the stage and electrics and what have you. We did a gig in Cromer in the middle of July, and it was bad. I mean, the weather was bad when we got there, and it just got progressively worse all day. And when we went on stage, it was like a lake. there was just water everywhere. It's like, this is not good. We shouldn't be doing this. Now, in my old covers band, when I was in a band with Steve and Pete from FM, I never used to really use pedals. I had a tuner pedal and that was it. But Steve, obviously, as a guitar player, always had like 5 pedals on a board. And he would always complain about pub gigs when people's beer would, people stood in front of you and they drop their glass and their beer goes all over your pedal board. But we also used to do trips to Israel, and you could guarantee almost every night someone would put their drink on the stage, be dancing around, they'd knock the glass, and it would go all over Steve's pedals. Now in Chroma, I'm stood there, I was thinking, what did we used to do to protect his pedals? I couldn't remember. And then I recalled that when we went to Israel, we used to go to the kitchen at the back of the bar where they would prepare the food for in the bar, and we'd cover Steve's board. We'd wrap it in cling film, like 3 wraps, and that would protect it. So after a couple of days, it got drinks and gamminess all over it. He'd rip the cling film off and go and do it again. And I thought, that's exactly what we did. So a couple of days after Chroma, I was in Costco in Watford, and I picked up a box. I thought, oh, do you know what? I'm going to buy a box of cling film, catering cling film, keep it in the car, or during winter I'll put it in the garage. But when we come into spring, summer, put it in the car. We got wet gigs, just wrap the pedals in cling film. So 2 weeks ago we were playing in Bristol, same festival, same company of festivals, and the weather turned again. And I thought, well, this time I'm prepared. So about an hour before we went on stage, I opened up my boot, pulled the pedal board out, and I wrapped it in cling film. We went on stage, and our guitarist, I could see he was looking, he was like, you could tell there was something odd about my pedal board, but he's got a Kemper and stuff, and I knew he was like, I thought, yeah, you don't know what I've done, do you? And when we came on stage, he said, oh, what have you done to your pedal board? I said, I wrapped it in cling film. So where your Kemper's got all wet tonight, and your feet are wet because you've walked up the steps and it's wet on the steps, and then you've had all the water on the stage, you now need to kind of wipe your Kemper down. I said, I don't. All I've got to do is rip this off and throw it in the bin. If it rains again, I'll just put another wrap around it. And so if this channel is nothing but educational, there's a little, you can have that tip on me, guys. So if you do outdoor gigs or festivals, or you play regularly in pubs and clubs and you get beer and drinks splattered all over your pedals or your effect units or whatever, buy some cling film. You can buy it from the supermarket if you wish, and just keep it in your car and just wrap the board. It doesn't matter what anyone drops anywhere near it, it's not going to go anywhere near your pedals. There we go. Brooks's tip of the day. There we go. Worked a treat. So I mentioned this on an impromptu live chat the day after I did it. I'm sure cling film sales have gone through the roof. There you go. Exactly. So yeah, these are the little things you pick up while you're out there doing gigs and on the road and stuff. I couldn't for the life of me remember what we used to do, and then I twigged. I was like, it's when we were in Israel. We used to wrap Steve's board in cling film, and then after a couple of days, you don't replace it every day, but every couple of days, because the board would just stay there every day. And it's all covered in gunk and rubbish. You just rip it all off. You go and put another clean load on. That's exactly what we did. So there. Okie dokes, how are we doing? Oh, we've got 10 people on at the moment. Very good. But we'll carry this on for a little while. I think everyone's kind of chilled and enjoying it. So, very good. Super helpful tips, man. You know it. See, nuggets like this you haven't had for weeks, you see, over the summer. So there we go. So we just hit 11 o'clock. I'll do the preamble, which I kind of have to do. I'm selling myself short if I don't. Okay, so live chat 53 here on Brooks's Base Corner. Been going for 3 hours. So you're very welcome. Thank you for joining in. Thank you to all the people getting involved on the live chat. It's fabulous. That's what we're here for. So if you've not been on a live chat before, this is the video window. Directly below this on the mobile app is the live chat window. If you're on the desktop version, it's that way. The reason we're in this sort of quasi-portrait mode is because tonight was going to be a duo live chat, which meant a special guest or someone I invited could come on and join in. When I realised we weren't going to do that tonight, you can't go back in and retract that feature. You have to cancel the whole live stream and set up a new one, which doesn't make any sense when you've promoted it across social media. YouTube, get that sorted, please. So you're stuck with me in portrait mode rather than full landscape mode. So to leave messages on the live chat, put your insertion point or your cursor or whatever, arrow, whatever you want to call it. Stick it in the live chat window, type your message, press send, it'll pop up here on my window. At the bottom of the live chat window, you'll see an emoji icon. Feel free to hit that, add emojis throughout the chat. It's great. The algorithm loves it because they think you're getting involved in the chat, whether you are or not. That's the way that works. Next to it, you'll see a dollar symbol. It's called Super Chat. Allows you to donate to the channel, keeps the channel moving, allows me to buy all the stuff that's in the reviews, the demos, the workshop videos. So all of this stuff, this all has to be paid for out of my pocket. Dunlop System 65, very good for your base. So that's Super Chat, that's the emoji button. There's another feature which is on every video here on Brooks's Base Corner. That's called Super Thanks. It sits underneath the video window on that little row of icons. So you've got a thumbs up and a thumbs down. If you're enjoying the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're not enjoying the video and you give it a thumbs down, please leave a comment. Let me know why you don't enjoy it. So you've got thumbs up, thumbs down. You've got share button. You've got the shop button for merchandise. You've got the save button that allows you to save the video so you can watch it at a later. And then you've got a love heart with a dollar symbol. That's called Super Thanks. Exactly the same process as Super Chat. Allows you to make a financial contribution to the channel. Might be a small amount, might be a large amount, but it all goes into the same melting pot. Helps keep the channel running. Thank you very much for those who've made Super Chat payments this evening. I really appreciate it. Thank you. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, and why wouldn't you be, frankly, feel free to hit the red subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you get the notifications when I post up new videos, posting on the community tab, doing impromptu live chats. So hit the notification bell and select all. If you don't select all, you won't get all the notifications. As various people here on the live chat have found over recent weeks and months when I've been doing impromptu live chats, and they've gone, I didn't know you were on. Well, that's because you didn't have the all notifications turned on. So you need to have that. Otherwise, it'll either be set to none, in which case you get no notifications, or you'll only be getting highlights from the algorithm. Then in the description box, which is below the video window, you'll find links for Brooks's Base Corner merchandise. There's a UK and Europe store, a US and worldwide store. You will find the new Base Legend quotes, shirts and mugs in the merchandise store now. I've got the very fetching Leland Sklar, he of the greatest beard in popular music. That's what I'm wearing here. We've then also got Chris Squire. We've got Nathan East. Got too many t-shirts here. Nathan East, and then the ever reverential Mr. Mark King from level 42. So if you would like any of these shirts or the mugs, feel free. Go into the description box, click on the merchandise links, go through, select your design, then select the product you want the design on, pick the size and colour, add it to your basket, Bob's your uncle. If you don't buy anything today, from tomorrow, I think until the end of the week, so it'll probably be Sunday, 20% off discount if you buy 2 items or more. There you go. Then underneath the merchandise links in the description box, you'll find affiliate links for Thomann, Amazon, Gear for Music and Andertons. So if you've got any bass related purchases coming up, whether it's a bass, an amp, combo, speaker, pedal, strings, picks, cleaning materials, gig bags, leads. If you want to help the channel out, click on those affiliate links, select your product, add it to your basket, go through with the transaction. Once you buy it, the channel receives a small affiliate commission, helps keep the channel running. If you were going to buy that product anyway, all you've done is help us, which is fabulous. So thank you very much for that. Underneath the affiliate links, you'll find social media links. You'll find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Be Real, Discord, Quora, Reddit, and TikTok. There we go. That's everything. I see there's a load of new messages. Graham, also good for taking home some wedding cake. We're talking about the cling film. Correct. Stacey, I like the way you think, Graham. Exactly, yeah. Although, after all the weddings I've done over the years, wedding cakes last. I really want to take home. I've eaten more slabs of that than you could possibly imagine. In fact, probably more slabs of wedding cake than I've changed strings on all my basses, and that's a lot of basses and a lot of strings. I would estimate I've probably done somewhere between 500 and 750 weddings, I reckon, maybe even more. Because for a period in my old covers band, we absolutely ripped the backside out of the wedding gig market. We really did. We did a lot of weddings all through the year as well. It wasn't just confined to the summer months. We would do weddings all year round, all the time. Help to pay the mortgage off early, of course. So yeah. So what are you all thinking of the Bass Legend quotes shirts? I haven't got any of the mugs here yet. That will be on my next order. So these two are the same type of shirt. These are actually charcoal grey. Yeah. They look black from a distance, but they're not. They're charcoal grey. So I've got the Lee Sklar, that's the Mark King, of course. And we've got the Chris Squire and the Nathan East. So there's different t-shirt styles, there's different colours. Feel free to click on the merch links in the description box and you can check it all out. But they wash great, nice to wear, all good stuff. And I explained earlier on the live chat, but I'll do it again. So all of us on social media, on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all of these things, we all get bombarded with merchandise suggestions for you, and idiots on band pages and stuff trying to sell unauthorized merchandise. Okay, so these shirts, well, they are authorized because I've got the emails from the Bass Legends to prove it. So basically, I used to write for Bass Guitar Magazine and I wrote for Bass Player Magazine. In my contract, I own the copyright on my interview content. So when I've done interviews with these people, I own the content. However, in order to print quotes by anyone, whether it's Joe Public, the girl down the road, or a famous bass celeb, you have to get their permission, especially if you're going to make money from it. So I've been in touch with Lee Sklar, Mark King, Nathan East. Couldn't get any reply from Chris Squire's estate or family. If they asked me to stop producing this stuff, no problem, I'll do that. But anyway, I went to Mark King, I went to Lee Sklar, I went to Nathan East. I said, guys, are you okay if I produce a range of t-shirts and mugs using quotes from the interviews that we did? And they all went, yeah, go for it, absolutely go for it. If you can make something out of it, go for it. So I have permission and it's all authorized. So don't think you'd be buying a t-shirt or a mug and suddenly you've got to throw it away. You're not allowed to wear it. You are. It's all good. So that's the story behind that. So these quotes are all taken from interviews I did with these people over the years. Yeah, that's the story. That's the way it went down. Okay, chat's gone a little dormant. So where are we? It's about 12 minutes past 11 here in London town. Maybe we'll go for another 10 minutes or so if it's starting to slow up a bit, and then we'll call it a night. It's been great seeing you all. Thank you very much for attending and getting involved. And thank you for the super chat payments. I can't say that enough. So, thank you. So there will be new content going up imminently. There was meant to be some last week, but the week just took over with family issues and stuff. So just bear with me, okay? It's been a tough couple of months, and I thought I was going to get a lot of content up over the summer, but unfortunately, with the situation we've been dealing with, it's that hasn't happened. But I promise you, the content's all there. It's just having the time to do the social media promotion. When you put a video up, you've got to spend time pushing it. Yeah, need to go to sleep. It's already 4 o'clock in the morning. Well, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Thank you for your feedback. See you next time. We'll be here every Tuesday. So from next week at 8 p.m. UK time, we're here. Feel free to come back. And if you want to check out any of the content on the channel, feel free to do that. Steffi, still up listening. Thanks for another lovely chat, mate. It's my pleasure. It's what we're here for. Stacey, they look great. You're right. They do. I'll be wearing a couple out this weekend for gigs. Graham, what do you think of the new status bases? Sorry if you've already been asked this. I was, but I'll repeat. I think anything that Rob puts out is going to be fairly good, isn't it? Let's be fair. I don't necessarily agree with the price point, but in the later section of life, so you can charge whatever he likes for it. And if people weren't willing to pay it, he'd have a warehouse full of bases. As far as I'm aware, the new bases are all sold out, I think, or all spoken for. So clearly there's a market, although I suspect bases are being bought by people who don't necessarily want the bass or want to play it, but they're buying it on the basis that they think it's going to go rapidly up in price. I think what they're going to find is those instruments go up in price very much slower than the graphite necked instruments that Status are famous for. And it'll be fairly obvious. You start seeing them with £3,500, £4,000 price tags, they're just scalpers. So hard to know what I think about them until I play one, if I get to play one. But then again, I've got a T-bass here, one of the original 15 that were made for Trace Elliot. So that's a wooden bass, wooden neck, graphite rods. Rob's workmanship is outstanding. So they're going to be great basses regardless. You're buying a Status, you want one with a graphite neck. It's like buying a Kabiki and not buying an X Factor. You're always going to want that detuner, or you're always going to want the bridge. It's the difference between buying an X Factor and buying a Key Factor. Different bases. So I think if anyone is buying any of those new Statuses, you can have a great bass regardless. Just go out and play the thing. Don't just leave it in a case or hang it on the wall and don't use it. They're not built for that. They're built for playing. My Red Empathy's taken a battering over the years, but it's been fabulous. It's got stories to tell. What's the point in buying a £2.5 grand bass and leaving it hanging on the wall? Well, he says that with quite a few hanging on the wall here, but all my basses get out and get gigged and used in one context or another. So, you know, I don't buy things just to make a profit. I buy things because either I want one, or I need it for a project, or it's got sounds that I want and it'll get used somewhere along the line. I don't think I've ever purposely bought a bass just to put it in its case and stick it in the loft and never use it because I want to make a profit on it. Most of my basses have made profit, uh, and they weren't bought for that purpose. I've just been lucky with some of my purchases that they were the right things to buy. You know, it'd be very easy to go out and buy every second-hand GB, I find, because at some point Bernie isn't going to be around. Those values will go through the roof. But I'd only ever buy a GB because I'm going to play it, or I like the look of it, or it's got a sound I haven't got already in the four that I've got. Yeah, guitars are for playing, and to have at home and look at. Yeah, lovely. But they predominantly they're going out to earn their money, earn their keep. So that's the way I look at it. Anyway, you don't have to agree. I know some people just buy to collect, and that's fine. But you know, what a waste! What a waste! And actually, if you don't go out and use them, the electronics get all scratchy and clicky, and you end up having to take them to techs and repair people to solve the problems. When all you really had to do was take it out in a gig and use the thing, you know. But that's kind of my take on that. You know, loads of people ask about the Alembics. You know, do you take these out on gigs? Absolutely, I do. I'm selective in which gigs I take them out on. And I always make sure I know how much room we're going to have on stage, whichever band I'm going to use it on, and I want to know what the PA monitoring and all that kind of thing is, because these are fabulous basses. And when you get them out on a big stage, proper sound system, proper monitoring, you hear quite why these basses are so good. Strings are a bit dead, but stupid question. But yeah. So no, I didn't buy Alembics to stick them on the wall and never use them. They come out and do gigs whenever I can make use of them. But these strings they've done a lot of gigs and they're kind of a bit dead. But then you plug this in, get the filters all set, and it just sounds stunning. It does to my ears. Beautiful. Look at that. But it plays great. It's a bit heavy, a little long, but I can live with the idiosyncrasies because it's an Alembic. Yeah, it's all good. Okay, I think numbers are dropping, so I think we're going to wrap this one up for tonight. Thank you very much to everyone for attending tonight's live chat, getting involved. It's been a blast. Good to see you all. Hope you're safe and well, and I look forward to hopefully seeing you over the next bunch of Tuesdays. So from next Tuesday, 5th of September, we will be back in the regular slot, 8 o'clock here in London town, here on Brooksy's Bass Corner. Have a great week. Enjoy your bass playing. You got any questions? Fire away. Send them on social media, or you can do it via the community tab here on YouTube, here on the channel. And I look forward to hopefully seeing some of you next Tuesday. And we'll have a right old race up till Christmas every Tuesday night. So thank you very much, everyone, for getting involved. Thank you for the super chat payments. Don't forget, if you want merchandise, links are in the description box. They're actually in the description box of every video here on the channel. Affiliate links, the same thing. Got any bass related purchases, you want to help the channel, do it through the affiliate links. We get a small commission. That's how that works. Feel free to check out the channel. Any videos that interest you, please leave comments. Thumbs ups are always fabulous. Helps the videos and the channel a lot. So if you can do that, that's great. Comments, the same. Just shows the algorithm that you like the content, like the channel, like the videos. All good. And hopefully get some video content, new video content up this week. I will do my best. I'm actually out tomorrow going to see the Freddie Mercury exhibition at Sotheby's. But hopefully should get something put up here on Thursday. And then we're out gigging Friday and Saturday. So on that note, take care of yourselves. Enjoy your bass playing. Got anything you need to ask, send me a message on social media. And hopefully see you next Tuesday. On that note, take care of yourselves. Have a good week. See you Tuesday.